What's going on, Angela? How are you?
I can hear you.
Yeah, you can hear me, right?
Yep.
I can't hear you because I don't have my headphones on, although if I did put my headphones on, I could hear you.
I think you fixed it.
I can see you, and you look wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
It's good to see you on this Monday after such a crazy, difficult weekend, which we're not going to get into, obviously, but it's nice to be back in the seat and hopefully back in the saddle again. I am Bobo is here. What's up, I am Bobo? I think there are others here as well, I hope.
Okay, here I am. I have logged on. I am Bobo. Commented with a bunch of popcorns. I guess we better make it entertaining.
Oh, yeah, we better make it entertaining. Yeah, and I didn't even... Oh, I got to go live on TikTok. Jeez. Sorry, TikTok. Going live. 3, 2, 1. All right, TikTok. What's going on? Well, we do have lots to talk about, which is fun. And yes, we are going to get into to that little Baldoni tease because, yeah, we saw a post that we thought, yeah, I thought was quite revealing.
Yep.
Someone here. What does that mean? Is everything okay? Can everybody hear me okay? Do you know if you can? Do you know if people can hear me? What's up, Delicate? How you doing? I'm nervous that people can't hear me. I need confirmation on YouTube. I'm feeling boatloads of insecurity.
Yeah, because you modified so much. You changed so many what settings, equipment? What did you do? You were
Both.
in here.
Yeah.
You were in here like a mad scientist. Delicate said, "Yes, I can hear you."
Okay, great. I was like, yeah. Oh yeah, it sounds. So I also like the last live. I completely blew out the audio because I was getting used to this new hardware and I didn't save it properly. All the work I did. So I lost like 2 hours of like setting up and tweaking sound and everything. And then I went live just like because I rebooted everything without saving it.
Yeah, you were in a rush to get started.
So hopefully the sound will be better today. Everything should run smoothly. If it is, we got somebody on TikTok. What's up, TikTok? Okay, so super fucking happy to be here. Yeah, it was a wild week and a wild weekend, but we do have some interesting updates. I might as well just get to the first thing because I thought it was so interesting. In fact, let me make sure I can go to my reference on it. It's about vampires and just that they were right.
Vampires were right?
Yes, vampires or whoever created the vampire and the lore vampire, they were right about something, which is that
What were they right
aging
about?
skin can be made youthful again with young blood.
No way.
Yeah.
Isn't that what that, like, there's like a billionaire guy who's trying to like discover the fountain of youth?
I thought of him the first thing, and he said something about his son's...
Yes, he like harvests his son's blood.
Well, check this out, dude. Researchers used a 3D organ on a chip system to demonstrate that young blood serum triggers bone marrow cells to produce skin rejuvenating proteins.
Here we go.
A new step. They're like, does this mean what it like? Doesn't this immediately imply something nefarious as hell? Like, isn't this like a crazy fucking plot where all of a sudden, like young homeless people are going missing and shit?
I regret to inform you that the conspiracy theorists were correct.
Oh my God. A new study suggests that the myth about young blood may actually be true, specifically derived from bone marrow cells. And that it could rejuvenate aging skin.
That's a lot more difficult than the conspiracy theorists were saying.
Yeah.
It goes down.
Well, nothing's ever easy. Come on.
Okay, so it has to be done like through a lab, like it's...
Yeah, so it's basically going to launch a new era.
Marrow donor?
I don't know how they're going to get it or if there's a way to put it in, make it in a petri dish. But the basically the article says that, the team that has uncovered this wild thing where bone marrow and young blood, well, the bone marrow of young-blooded bone marrow, I just can't get over it. Young blood. That it's just going to unleash a new era of anti-aging and especially like anti-aging
That's so interesting.
treatments.
This is being published or publicized when Jupiter is in Cancer, which is the sign that's primarily like associated with the past. So it's like people are fixated on the past and want to live in the past, like fear of aging seems like it would fall right in line with that.
I'm going to post the article for everyone to read on in the notes, in the show notes. So, or the,
Did you read it?
Comments. I read it. Yeah, I read it.
So, okay. How does this go down?
I mean,
how can we obtain some youth via
I'm not
Youngblood?
That might be over my my head, and this isn't yet market ready at all. So I don't know any of the scientific answers. I'm going to post the article for all y'all to read.
The conspiracy theorists are going to go nuts with this, you guys.
But bone marrow.
I expect everybody to act really normal about this news.
Using the bone marrow model, they identified 55 potential systemic rejuvenating proteins produced by bone marrow-derived cells. 7 of these proteins allowed researchers to create rejuvenating effect on human skin cells. They observed an, quote, increased cell proliferation, reduced biological age, and improved mitochondrial energy-producing function in bone marrow cells. It's an ancient tale. Blood can revitalize life as the substance that courses through our human veins.
The substance. Amazing.
Stories about vampires drinking young blood to maintain their youthful glow and ancient civilizations associating blood with having special powers have been circulating for a long time. Even platelet-rich plasma, or PRP, a modern cosmetic technique of using a patient's blood to stimulate collagen and cell renewal, demonstrates that blood might make groundbreaking headway in anti-aging. Further research is necessary. And so when you say that, does that involve the harvesting of young blood? Like, what? It's just immediately like I immediately just had them plucking young, unhoused people off of the streets. Like back in the 90s, it would have been like deadheads. They'd just follow the Grateful Dead and just grab like 3 or 4 subjects.
So
offer them a bit of money and some fucking some sweet trips. I'm trying to like choose the right word so I don't get kicked off at TikTok.
So the movie Death Becomes Her was a prophecy.
Yeah, I guess all of it as it relates to this stuff was a prophecy. Is that not the craziest shit? I just thought it was crazy. I just loved it.
Yeah, it's definitely creepy. I wonder when we're all just going to contend with the idea of aging. That the planet continues to revolve around the sun. Time passes.
Yeah, I've said it before. I'll say it again, man. I'm a big fan of aging. Yeah. I love it, and it means that we're going to move, sort of closer to different kinds of heartaches. We're experiencing that right now in our lives. We know all about the risks, or not the risks, the consequences of aging, right? There are consequences because obviously we're decaying. But the person I am today versus the person I was 30 years ago, I mean, I'm just so in love with the journey I've been on.
Yeah, and also like associating aging with decay is, I think, part of the reason why these sorts of things exist. Is because everybody's so afraid of it. I know a lot of people that are thriving as they age.
Yeah.
It's not bad for. There's a bunch of people who are very vocal about it. Like, I was told this would be upsetting. It is not.
It is not. It absolutely is not.
Vampires, huh?
Vampires.
Erica said, think back to Elizabeth Bathory bathing in the blood of young servants.
What?
What is this reference?
That's awesome. Oh man, that's just God. Of course.
Labeled a conspiracy.
It's like a straight up like, I immediately have this like, fantastic image or really a shot. As soon as she said that, I was just like, oh my God, I would shoot that immediately. Guilty Angel, Erica, Delicate, they're all here.
It's wonderful. I hope you guys had a good weekend.
Yeah, man, I hope you guys had a good weekend. We had a good weekend. No, we did not.
We did not have a good weekend.
I want to say we did.
Everything is weird. Things are getting progressively weirder. Everything's kind of awful, Well, I think it's nice to get together and talk about stuff that's less weird. Although Dale opened the show with vampires.
Well, everybody wants to get younger. And hey, listen, the truth is, if I could find a way at least to stop aging, because who wants to pardon me, who wants to turn to Gene Hackman at the end of his life? God rest his soul and all that stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like when you
want
see,
to stick around longer to watch the horrors unfold?
I
Is that what you're saying?
absolutely, bro. Make me immortal if you, for sure. I'm so crazy curious. You know, listen. The one thing about coming out of a depression is, like, you know, for me at least, there's like a renewed curiosity. You know, like, and it's pretty insatiable at this moment. Like,
Yeah,
I'm very interested in everything. You know, where I was and still am, but where I was like in the past, like emotionally vested in the things that were objectionable in my world and in the world as I saw it. I now have a different relationship with those very same objectionable things. One that has a certain rationale that is more comfortable and reasoning. If that makes any sense.
Yep, it does. I think that that's sort of like the reward for going through something really, some horrible turmoil, you know? Like, especially if it drags you down into like the darkest depths, you're like, oh, I've looked around there and I've learned a few things about the landscape that you can then like bring forward with into the rest of your world.
Yeah. Delicate won't be here on Wednesday, she said, so.
We're going to close.
It begins.
So
So it begins.
She's playing hooky.
Who is he? Who is he, Delicate? Who is she?
Did you get it?
That's our dog.
She found a scratch.
Scratching an itchy spot. Vampires, man. All right. Should we go into the main topic or should we go
Who
on
came
to
up with
the...
vampires? Was it Bram Stoker or was it Wood?
No, it wasn't.
Vampires were like a thing for a long time before.
I don't know how long
popularized it,
before,
right?
but it wasn't Bram. I remember that it wasn't
He didn't
Bram.
invent vampires.
No, he invented
Dracula.
Dracula,
Okay.
and he took the story to like next level. You know what I'm
He made
saying?
it sexy.
For sure. Quite literally. Quite literally. Let me get to my...
Did you read that book?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I did. We read it.
We didn't finish the.
We didn't finish it.
It's a really great series that somebody puts out. I don't know who it is, but they started a Substack, and they send you Dracula Daily because the story of Bram Stoker's Dracula is told, like, it's dated, it's chronological,
Right.
so you can just follow along the story on the same dates that it happened in, like, whatever century it takes place. I can't remember. It's really neat. It's ongoing. I remember that we fell off and we have to pick back up.
Yeah.
They were closing in.
I thought we finished it. Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. Yeah. Well, I was enjoying it.
I was too. Yeah. It's a lot different than the movie adaptations.
It's like
neat.
it's like Frankenstein. Like the book is a far greater experience, like by a lot.
Well, there are some kind of ridiculous scenes, like Dracula like cartwheels through a room, and everybody's like, "Oh, we almost caught him, but we couldn't. He cartwheeled out of here so fast."
Wow.
It really makes no sense.
It's like he has to make a fantastic exit.
Yeah, he has to do something super.
Do you know what I saw my niece doing the other day? It was fantastic. It was cartwheeling. Oh, that's it. It's cartwheels, of course.
Totally. It wasn't like
He's pacing back and forth. What could it be? Dash? Oh, that sounds so merry.
like later on they figured out like making him climb up walls is super creepy.
Yeah.
I think he just lacked the imagination for something like that because they just made him like.
He skipped out of the room with a howdly doodly pipe in his mouth.
It was like he was on a pogo stick, but there was no stick at all.
or pogo, for that matter. Yeah, that's too funny. So, would you like to read this or not? Because I'll gladly read it. It's this post by...
Did you want to read the post or you want to read the article that it's quoting?
I do want to read the post because I think the post... Well, first of all, we could talk about the article or the quote specifically. Whoa, you want to read the article? Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, cool.
So, and then we'll touch on this post because I thought this post was really interesting and it provoked for me a very interesting conversation because we have, Justin Baldoni has said ad nauseum that this was all about the female gaze. And in the article you're about to read, there's a quote that somebody on Reddit, a Redditor, cited in order to point out some major inconsistencies in that story. And I thought it was really interesting stuff. And how I've talked about how the female gaze, how can he be interested in the female gaze if he's taking on the primary role in film directing that would be responsible for that. Do you know what I mean? Like, how is that your main priority? And then you're entrusting that in yourself, who you've, declared in your book, in your podcast, and in your TED Talk that you're not qualified for that you're a misogynist trying to get his way out of misogyny. Anyway, it was interesting. And so, Angela, yeah, I'd love for you to read that if you would.
I'm trying to find the dates that they initially obtained.
And this is, by the way, this article came out right just after he got out of the hospital. If you remember that before and or even during some of the press junket, Justin Baldoni was held up in a hospital with a very serious infection, something to do with his spinal cord. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, he had a spinal infection. He was in the hospital.
Spinal infection.
Apparently that was the reason why he couldn't go and screen the movie at that book fair, and why Blake Lively went alone.
Thank you for that, like. Right.
So just to give you some context about when this article came out that was being... I was looking for this. Did you describe why we're talking about this? Yes, right?
I did.
I'm sorry. I was looking for this information.
You weren't paying attention, and we all know that. Go ahead.
I was looking for this. Okay, so this is really important. So this is from Blake Lively's amended complaint. Okay? She said that on July 24th, 2024, is that the same year? Are we talking about the same year here?
2024.
Yes, okay, cool. On July 24th, I'm sorry. Okay, Jennifer Abel emailed Mr. Heath and others requesting the legal letter that was sent to Miss Lively and her team, stating, per our conversation, we will go through point by point and draft context surrounding each situation of her legal letter. We can then flag what we're missing that would be helpful to arm us in the case we need to refute any of the claims. That's July 24th, 2024.
I'm lost. I thought you were going to read the Variety article. I'm
setting up the date of the article.
Okay.
This is all happening before that Variety article
that
we're about to read.
Okay.
On July 26th, 2024, Mr. Baldoni sent Miss Abel a Variety article about Francis Ford Coppola's inappropriate behavior on set during production of his movie Megalopolis, including his alleged kissing of cast and crew as described by unnamed sources. In conveying the article, Mr. Baldoni stated, "This is the shit that I'm sure they want to do. Unnamed sources, etc." On July 29th, 2024, Mr. Baldoni and Miss Abel discussed a proposal to get ahead of any potential publicity regarding Miss Lively's HR complaints against him with a social and digital combat plan. Okay, so that's where we are. And then he does an interview with Variety. And the date that this is published is July 31st, 2024.
Gotcha.
Okay, so that was just setting up what's the context for him when he's doing this.
Great.
This is titled, it's written by Kat C. Stephan in Variety. Justin Baldoni is redefining masculinity as he enters his leading man era with It Ends With Us.
I'm sorry. My apology. Apologies.
What made you laugh about that?
He's redefining masculinity is really funny, don't you think?
I really like his leading man
Sounds
era.
like he's doing real traditional masculinity to me. But
oh, yeah.
Super traditional masculinity, if you ask me.
Also, his leading man era. It's really his villain era. He's playing a villain, not a leading man. Why does he think he's the leading man?
Oh, they said leading man era.
Justin Baldoni is redefining masculinity as he enters his leading man era with It Ends With Us.
That's fucking ridiculous.
He's not the leading man.
He's not the leading man. He's a villain.
I know. But sometimes they're like, what's a good sounding headline? I'll just write that. It doesn't make sense. Okay, you want to hear it?
Yes, I do. As much as it's turning my stomach already.
Justin Baldoni is on the mend. Not that you can tell he's been sick. In Variety LA's photo shoot, in Variety's LA photo shoot, he leaps in the air and clicks his heels for the camera as a song booms in the background. It's only when greeting him that one notices. Before leaning in for a bear hug, he adjusts the tubes protruding from IV ports on his arms. He is recovering from a week-long hospital stay at St. John's, still fighting off a nasty infection that he doesn't want to talk about. Okay, but they wrote about it. Vulnerability doesn't always come easily.
Please, I don't want to talk about it. Are those tubes coming out of you? Not now, please.
Please, come in for a bear hug.
Can we just talk about it later?
Can we just bear hug?
Give us a hug. What, did I get some on you? My bad.
Vulnerability doesn't always come easy, except he's bear hugging strangers at a photo shoot. Vulnerability doesn't always come easy. Indeed, that's what Baldoni's new film is all about. Baldoni, who played the reformed playboy Raphael Solano on the CW's hit series Jane the Virgin, has directed himself in his first role since that show ended in 2019. In Sony's film adaptation of Colleen Hoover's mega hit novel, It Ends With Us, Blake Lively, I'm sorry, screwed up. Blake Lively plays a florist named Lily, and Baldoni plays Ryle, a seemingly kind neurosurgeon who turns out to be an abuser.
Don't they always start out kind?
He's really like overbearing from the start, though, so I'm not sure that's a great characterization of his character.
It's so interesting because like I can't remember. I think it was somebody in the comments or something, but they were like, somebody pointed out, and I totally like see this differently, but somebody pointed out like it probably wasn't the best compliment that Colleen Hoover said. Hey, you'd make a great Ryle.
Yeah, you know. Well, especially since he's not really like he's not the leading man in the. The love interest is
the other guy, the guy they don't talk about.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I just found that interesting because obviously I think she saw Ryle in terms of like what he could be physically in Justin Baldoni. She was giving this man the rights to her book, which was a massive hit. So I can't imagine that she was like handing those rights over to somebody that she thought was an actual, like somebody who fit the bill.
They're also, he references it like it was some sort of recommendation, but she was like, have you ever thought about playing Ryle? I could see it. That's what she says.
So it's a physical thing. Go ahead. Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's a major departure for a hunky leading man, best known for romancing Gina Rodriguez on a weekly basis, who went viral as an outspoken feminist in a December 2017 TED Talk. Back then, only months after the surfacing of assault allegations against Harvey Weinstein kicked off the #MeToo movement. Baldoni asked men in the audience, are you brave enough to be vulnerable? Are you strong enough to be sensitive? It just seems like such ancient history. Like, who talks like that anymore? Okay. He's since become an internet guru of sorts, advocating on his popular podcast, Man Enough, for men to take an active role in dismantling patriarchal norms. In the weekly show, Baldoni facilitates discussions on how men can lean into their emotions, from getting therapy to having a good cry. Like, aren't we all past this? Which means
fuck. It's all good. Like, it's cool. There's not like there's any bad message going on there. But
you groundbreaking?
What the fuck is groundbreaking about that? And redefining masculinity. Like, get the fuck out of here, dude.
I guess if you grow up in like a really strict religion where women aren't allowed to have leadership roles, like maybe you think that this is groundbreaking.
Do you know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. I got a phone call from a guy, really big Hollywood reporter, writer, like big time guy. Like, and he got a call from somebody else who said, you got to do this guy's book. You got to cover this guy. So I get a call from this fucking amazing writer. And I'm telling you, my excitement was through the goddamn roof. I was a huge fan of his work. So the guy calls me up, leaves me a message, call me right away. My friend says I should be talking to you. So I call the guy and he's like, all right, so what's going on? We have this exchange because he heard about the book. So we go back and forth a little bit. He goes, all right, so what's the story? Just tell me the story. What am I doing here? And it was just the weirdest part of it was I was frozen. I was like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, what do you mean? Like, I'm telling you what's going on. I'm not going to write the article for you, buddy.
Yeah, you're the writer. What are you doing?
Where I'm going is that these writers, I think, are very much used to people walking in with the ideas. When I was a salesman, our bosses used to say, you can't go there and ask somebody to buy advertising. You have to go in with an advertising idea.
No, I know it's true. This person doesn't seem to be thinking critically about or know much about the property. Anyway, maybe whatever. Okay, continuing.
Yeah, please.
Which means that playing the part of a screw it, fucking ad. Okay, hang on a second. Which means that playing the part of a love bomber who eventually reveals himself to be violent, made for a scary departure. Baldoni initially read the book with an eye to producing it through his Wayfarer Studios shingle. Baldoni's book agent referred the novel to him in 2019 when it had already sold 1 million copies. He recalls, it was sexy. It was romantic and mysterious. By the end, I was sobbing real snot tears.
The movie?
The book.
The book. Oh, the book.
Colleen Hoover says, I was very protective of this book, adding that she rejected several offers before Baldoni's, but then I got an email from Justin that was really heartfelt, and I felt like he understood the book and he understood the importance of people needing to see it on screen. Hoover sent a spontaneous email to Baldoni during the optioning process. Have you ever thought about acting in this? She said, maybe playing Ryle, I could see it. Baldoni, who previously directed CBS films 5 Feet Apart and Disney's Clouds, had been moving away from acting And this was a character he was afraid to play. And that turned out to be the appeal. He said, I wanted to try because it scared the hell out of me, he says. Baldoni's not shy about his feelings. He's the kind of guy you'd trust to watch your drink at a bar, which, in a strange way, is what gives him makes him the right choice to play Ryle. He said, you need someone in the role of Ryle where... Oh, sorry, this is Colleen Hoover saying, you need someone in the role of Ryle where it's going to hurt when you see them not turning out the way you wish they could be. With Justin, who was just a truly kind person, playing that role, it was honestly perfect. The internet wasn't as sold as Hoover was, though. When Lively and Baldoni were announced as leads, diehard fans of the book raised eyebrows at the actors' ages. In the novel, Lily's 23, Ryle is 30, a far cry from Lily and Baldoni, who were in their mid-30s at the time of filming.
You're going a little fast for me, if I'm being honest.
Well, it's just I don't know that this is all very interesting. But the decision to age up the characters was Hoover's. Part of it was the 15 or more years it takes to become a neurosurgeon, and part of it was working to depict a victim of abuse as a woman who's aged out of naivete to make the case that this could happen to anyone. Says Baldoni, it would help us in seeing a woman who has had life experience, who's been in relationships before, who has the means to start a venture like a flower shop, fall for a guy like Ryle. He adds that Lively's casting underscores the ways abuse can affect even those people you least expect it to. Suddenly, the smooth speaker from the TED stage grows halting, trying to find the right words. I want to be careful how I say this, he said. I've heard people say, why wouldn't you just leave? Why would she stay? We know that abuse happens to women of all ages, but it also happens to powerful women. It happens to very strong women. It happens to affluent women. Baldoni has written on the subject before. His two books are 2021's Man Enough, Undefining My Masculinity, and 2022's children's guidebook, Boys Will Be Human, which aims to help boys age 11 and up embrace their fears instead of repressing them. But he also knew to look beyond himself for help. Wayfarer Studios asked the nonprofit organization No More, dedicated to ending domestic violence and sexual assault, to take an advisory role during the development and production of It Ends With Us. Baldoni and Lively also worked with both an intimacy and a stunt coordinator when filming their scenes of domestic violence. What was important to me was that the abuse come from Ryle's insecurity, Baldoni explains, from a deep feeling that he wasn't enough. Showing that allows the movie to not have an arch villain. He's not this mustache twirling bad guy. He's a guy with deep pain and deep trauma who makes terrible decisions that are never acceptable or excusable in any situation. Well,
except that he's already excusing them, and this is where the sort of hypocrisy and the whole like female gaze thing doesn't seem to add up in a real way. Apparently, from readers of the book and this poster on Reddit, Colleen Hoover's Ryle is very deliberate, and he's deliberately not somebody to be empathized with for anything.
He's really handsy, and he's really disrespectful.
Right.
And there's even a scene in the beginning, their first kiss scene involves her saying no.
Right. Well,
it's like, I don't know at what point we're supposed to feel like this is a good guy. From the very beginning, he's extremely pushy and really awful.
Well,
and she frames it as if it's sexy. Like, she frames it as if her lead character like can't get enough, and she's like, I shouldn't be, but I'm turned on. It's like one of those it just bears worth repeating that particular section, that section where it says like what was important to me was that the abuse come from Ryle's insecurity, and this is like a situation where he's like, once again, how he was sort of defying the studio as it related to DV as the focus, as opposed to the heroics of overcoming it being the focus, and I feel like this is another situation where if what I read is correct, which is that Colleen Hoover really created a deliberate character whose deep psychological wounds weren't the issue, where that what she wanted to address was this nonsense about why don't you leave? Yes, that is a repetitive theme throughout the book.
Right.
They always ask the women, why don't they leave, right? She had that issue.
Not why is he harming you?
The character has that issue with her own mother and father and their dynamic of
right.
abuse, Well, so I've noticed in this, so just to make sure that where like the framing is accurate. He's already engaged and planning a counterattack strategy in case they publicize his bad behavior on set.
So this is by the way,
he is already engaged with his crisis PR.
Yeah.
And they're already planning strategies to sort of destroy her credibility if she comes out.
Well,
right?
thank you.
That's the context of this. There's more.
Okay, yeah, but before you do, thank you for pointing that out. The reason why that's such an important thing to point out is because it just goes to show you how much of that image was important to him in terms of the way in which he was marketing himself to the world.
I'm also noticing that he's just talking about him playing a role as an actor. There's a whole his involvement as a producer and a director is completely missing from this entire interview.
It's not the focus. It's not the focus. That's all.
It's not his focus. Like he could pivot to that if he wanted to talk about him being an awesome director.
Regardless, the point I'm trying to make is that he's using the point you made, which I think is so great, is that he's actively in this place where he's trying to reputationally harm Blake Lively. That's his goal.
Yeah, that's his.
This is what man enough people do, right? They get into an argument with a woman and they're going to destroy her in order to save their ass in that argument or try to save their ass in the argument. That's what a man enough kind of guy does. But the point I'm trying to make out is how it's all bullshit, because this guy's literally using this and it's right here in his publicist. I just finished saying that, a lot of these writers are like, tell me the story and I'll write the story.
Yeah.
So this is a publicist telling them the story to write the story.
That's right.
So we have on the, out of one side of his mouth, he's the savior to women, victims of toxic masculinity. And on the other side of his mouth, he's trying to take a woman down. It's like the fucking craziest. Like, it's right there, dude. Like, the dates are all right there.
It's fucking two-faced.
It's fucking two-faced. It's wild that he's going out with this. When he could be going out with something entirely more centered on the film and his role as director of it, and removing himself from this idea of furthering his brand. But all this brand placement is.
I think that you can tell that his main impulse for trying to protect himself with his publicist is trying to protect the man enough brand that he built.
Yes.
Because he can't be accused of SH in the workplace and also be the guy that he claims to be in his podcast and his fucking TED Talk and all this. Like, it is a huge contradiction.
Yeah.
And it's a contradiction he made, but he's trying to keep part of it, trying to keep the truth of it silent.
Yeah.
And I think that that's why he's so focused on who this guy is, right? He has to keep this facade of, like, I'm a guy that helps women, escape these cycles of abuse. Should I continue reading, or are we done here?
Well,
there's more. I don't know that we've gotten to the quote that.
Yeah, that was the quote. What was important for me is that the abuse come from Ryle's insecurity, from a deep feeling that he wasn't enough. My hope was that this film could help somebody.
Yeah, that's the next part.
Okay, so read that.
While
okay.
the movie clearly targets a female demographic, Baldoni says he wants men to see it. He said, my hope was that this was a film that could help anybody who was on the path to becoming Ryle. To becoming a Ryle. That's why I didn't want to show him as this angry villain from the beginning. I wanted to be more subversive and slow with it. He said, trauma doesn't discriminate, and men are also victims of DV.
Men are, see what I'm saying? Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, he kept talking about the female gaze. The female gaze is the most important thing. And here he is trying to be like, but wait, there's us too. Wait, what about us and our misfortunes? This is like, clearly we know that the crux of DV is, from the hand of a man to a woman, flies from the hand of a man to a woman. We know that is the primary, that's the basic problem here.
That's also in his, this whole project involves that. So
it's what it's about.
So are you trying to?
Now you want to redefine it?
Are you Darvoing like your
right.
your own?
And he says more. Go ahead, because he does say more about. I think he says more about.
Maybe in a bit they're doing the what's next for Wayfair, but one thing that I thought was interesting is that he says, after all, the book has a sequel, and Baldoni says, I mean, we have the option on it. I haven't even begun to think that far ahead. I'm trying to stay in the present as much as I can. So that was a question that I had. I didn't know whether he had the option for the sequel.
He did, yeah.
But apparently he did.
No, that was well publicized. I knew that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was the only one in the dark.
Yep. But hey, way to catch up.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Welcome back, Angela.
Okay, this continues. He practices what he preaches. Shortly after our interview, he's getting on a plane to spend...
Oh, you know what I immediately saw was like a wheel in mud.
I'm sorry. I have been reading out loud all day.
Go ahead.
Dale and I have been reading a book together, and I think my, of course, this fucking pop-up ad. Okay.
That was really great, though. I'm gonna put that on a loop, and
that's gonna be our blooper reel or whatever.
When I'm cutting.
Okay, he's getting on a plane to spend the summer celebrating his wife Emily's 40th birthday in Sweden with their kids Maya 9 and Maxwell 7. Even as Baldoni stands on the precipice of a major career shift with the release of It Ends With Us, his priorities are clear. He said, "I just took my daughter to get her ears pierced," he says. "I want what I do to have meaning. Yet I don't want it to overtake me and become everything because I don't want to blink and miss my children's childhoods." He sighs. "Those are the two opposing forces that are happening right now in my life. There's no question of which force is winning. The truth is nobody is going to read my IMDb at my funeral," he says with a laugh. "Moments come and go. I'm disposable to Hollywood. There'll be a million Justins or people that look like me at some point in time."
Let's hope not.
But that was the whole.
Let's keep that to
what was revealed in Me Too.
One's enough.
But perhaps this film will have an impact beyond its own fortunes. He says, "If a Lily walks into that theater and she watches this movie, will she go home and make a different choice? That's exciting to me." Okay, there you have it. We heard it from his own lips.
Yeah, and I think that the very revealing statement that he says there, "I didn't want to show him as this angry villain from the beginning. I wanted it to be more subversive and slow with it." And that's not how he reads. Like, he reads out of the gate like, "The fuck is wrong with this dude?"
Yes. Yeah, you're absolutely like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? But he's not angry. He's not angry, but he's really pushy, and he does not respect boundaries right out the gate.
If Justin Baldoni,
I don't know how he read that and wasn't like, "Oh, this is not the kind of role that we should." Maybe that's why it was available for option. It was this huge bestseller book, but nobody had optioned it before because they were like, "This thing's like a dumpster fire."
We're going to jump on the comments on both TikTok and YouTube momentarily. If Justin Baldoni wanted to, well, I forgot what I was going to say because I interrupted my own self by telling you guys that we're going to be there for you. So maybe we can jump to the comments and then that'll rejuvenate my question. But just the thing that bothers me most about all of this is that he's trying to really, like, the idea of changing this or putting this character together that might fly in the face of. And this is what I love about this person's post on Reddit, who, by the way, I'll just repeat their name so you guys can look it up. It's Advanced Property 749. Why Baldoni's creative vision for understanding Ryle hurts DV survivors. And it's so interesting because her perspective on this is that the story is not about understanding abusers or figuring out why they do it.
Yeah.
You know why? Because that's exactly what the cycle of abuse is. The constant push to understand, justify, and forgive the person hurting you.
That's right.
And, I lived through domestic violence, right? Like, obviously not in the same.
Yeah, you have to spend
I was abused.
all of your energy like navigating the person that's hurting everybody.
Yeah, I was physically abused by my father, quite severely.
They are understood.
Yeah. And so I'll just give you some examples. Like, I spent my life trying to please that man. I spent my life trying to make sure that he was as happy as could be, or to try and diffuse any kind of emotion that might lead to my getting my ass whooped, right?
Yeah, I think that's a really common experience. When dealing with people like this, it becomes like a lot of people develop people pleaser type reflexes, know, because they just don't want to. They're trying to avoid suffering. They're trying to avoid pain and punishment by not having managed another person's mood or temper properly.
Yeah.
That they can maybe save themselves by doing it.
Yeah, totally.
So you're right. I mean, that's such a great observation that they're like, that's not the person that needs.
Well, that's not what we're here for.
Yeah.
The story is not about understanding abusers or figuring out why they do it. So when you're born into it or you find yourself in an abusive relationship, what keeps you there isn't ignorance, it's love, it's trust, and it's dependency. And this is the truth, right? And it's all, sometimes it's, dependency, right? I was a dependent. That was my everything. That was my whole world. Without them, I was absolutely nothing. The person hurting you is often the person you love most, trust most, and depend on the most, emotionally, physically, or financially. Victims become experts at gaslighting themselves, justifying, forgiving, and prioritizing the abuser over themselves. And this is really interesting because if like his objective, if you look at his objective and you say that, you know, he has this objective to show that like these people are human and, you know, and not that they're not, of course, but that's his objective. You can see how it's taking away from the problem. It's exacerbating the problem, actually.
I also think it's really telling that he's like aligning so well with the abuser as this person that you could sympathize with.
Right.
While he is telling his literally 5 days before that article came out. So I don't know at what point he did the interview. But he said he's telling his publicist, he's telling Jennifer Abel in conveying the article about Francis Ford Coppola's inappropriate behavior on set, Mr. Baldoni stated, "This is the shit I'm sure they want to do." He's got no evidence of that. He's just being paranoid.
Right.
What he thinks is he is already labeling himself a victim of some sort of thing he needs to avoid. And then it was the same day that article came out is when he retained Melissa Nathan. 194 in Blake Lively's amended complaint. This plan took shape with Wayfarer's retention on behalf of Wayfarer and Mr. Baldoni of Miss Nathan, which occurred on or around July 31st, 2024, the same date. Yeah,
we covered that. So from the outside, so it's easy to think of someone who were being abused. Well, first of all, what I love about what this person's saying, having been a victim, they nail this. Victims become experts in gaslighting themselves, justifying, forgiving, and prioritizing the abuse over themselves. From the outside, it's easy to think that if someone were being abused, they'd see the signs and leave. But that's a privileged view that ignores how attachment and dependency really work. Breaking the cycle isn't about recognizing abuse. It's about overcoming the deeply ingrained instinct and the strong need to forgive, protect, and love the person that's hurting you. So this is a really, really great piece of insight about how to truly play the character. Because, you know, we're watching Pamela right now, right?
Oh, the documentary on Pamela Anderson.
The documentary on Pamela Anderson, and there's some features about her and her relationship with Tommy Lee. And she spills the tea in this documentary, and I'm going to spoil one of them because she said that she got this unexpected voicemail from Tommy Lee, and he sang this really like profoundly.
He was being crude.
Yeah. It went, "My baloney has a first name. It's Large." And he sang it over and over again in that like, you know, like that whatever nursery
She's
rhyme
like,
loop.
"I'm busy building a career, if you don't mind."
That's kind of the character that Ryle reminds me of just by what I've heard of him, right? I can only go by that. I haven't read the book, but Ryle seems more like Tommy Lee, a guy who's going to have not going to have a bridge to the sensitivities and the darknesses that led him there, but live within the darkness that he lives. Do you know what I mean? Or the misogyny, or the like the you know, the stated sort of purpose for being, if you will, right?
I have to read you these excerpts from the book because they're like downright fucking appalling. Like I'm like squirming while I'm listening to the audiobook because she has Ryle say the most outlandish shit, like the kind of stuff that you would imagine somebody gets slapped for. And then she has like her protagonist Lily just like swoon over him about it. I'm like, what is going on? This is weird.
Yeah, well, then again, that's the part of the trap, you know, the trap that gets laid. Also, you know, again, sort of like, I don't know. I can't speak for women and the way, obviously I come from the perspective of being a child abused by his father. So I have a totally different perspective where I have a deep dependency that even, that's far even more dependent than, say, a woman might feel to a man, you know, to whom, you know, she's been relying on, or for whom she's been relying on for food and shelter.
That dynamic is always like it's not definable. Like it's all a spectrum. Like you don't know, like we can't quantify like whether somebody is closer to their adult abuser when they're a child or their, you know, peer abuser or whatever. It's just like everybody's experience is too different.
Yeah.
But I really, really love this person's take on it.
So do I.
I think that it's a lot of insight that I don't have as somebody who's never really engaged too much with the topic and the social dynamic of DV, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's really interesting. And I'm glad that it turned out that Baldoni was right. He wanted to start the conversation, and he is doing that now. He's just doing it, you know, he's not leading the conversation like maybe he had thought he would, but he's...
Oh, well, that's so, yeah. The irony of it is that he's actually furthering the conversation.
Yeah, his wish came true for sure.
A bitter irony for him for sure.
Yeah, I just can't believe the timing of that article and all. It's so weird how two-faced. I mean, I guess you have to be like that. Like if you were, promoting a film and you had a conflict with somebody that you were working with or something, you wouldn't be obviously talking about it in the promotion. But it's just a little weird the way that he has to be this one guy and act like everything's fine when he's talking to his publicist like the sky is falling, And the way that he words it, like he doesn't even hear himself.
Let me see if I can
said,
find
"This
it.
is the shit I'm sure they want to do." Like, why are you sure, bro? Do you have evidence? Like, why is it that you think that everybody's out to get you? Like, what is this paranoia? That he read her dragon's text and thought it was some sort of threat? I mean, I don't really believe that he did at all when he first read it. I think that he showed his lawyers and they were like, "What about this? We can turn this into a threat."
But still,
that anybody would read that as a threat instead of an offer is just wild to me.
do you want to hit up the? Do you want to hit up the comments?
Yes.
Do you want to start in? Why don't you start in TikTok?
Hello, TikTokians.
All the TikTokians. I like TikTokians better than TikTokers.
Oh, Leo Edit said, "Angela is gone. Only handsome Dale."
Well, oh, that's so nice of you to say. Yeah, for now, I don't know why. Just to explain that. So I was having these troubles technically. Because of that, I switched to a hardware solution instead of a software solution. I used to broadcast over a thing called OBS, which is a software solution, but it was just too hard on my hardware. You can't even hear my computer humming right now. It's usually loud with fans in here bellowing.
No, I can't.
There's no fan in here now because I'm running through hardware. But with the hardware, I need a Steam key out of TikTok, and I applied for one, and they're not giving it to me right now.
I know. TikTok is like always gatekeeping.
I don't get it. I'm so cool, but they don't think I'm cool.
Oh, this is so great. So You Keep Doing This said, you know how the writer at Variety said he'll watch your drink?
Yeah.
He'll watch your drink, and then while you're gone, use it to toast to you being buried by his PR team.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's so interesting that she said that, like the kind of guy that you would let you watch. And then for at the same time that she's writing that, at the very same time that she's writing that, Justin Baldoni is plotting a smear campaign against a woman.
He wants to know that she can be buried.
At the very same
He's a guy you
time.
can trust with your drink, apparently.
What is that about?
Also, it's such a grim thing to include, as if that's just like some sort of like a, phrase we throw around.
Yeah.
Like he's a guy you can trust with your drink. Like, can we not just normalize the fact that people can't trust their drinks?
Right, as if like
it's just like horrible thing.
It's so horrific.
Oh my God.
Honestly, it's like another one of those things. Like as a dude, you just never,
I know. It's just like it gives me whiplash every time where I'm like, wow, we really live in a hellscape.
I know.
Risky Business on TikTok said, "Oh yeah, about that organization No More and how he was going to partner with them." Risky Business said, which he apparently hasn't given the proceeds he said he would, and that's true.
Oh right.
We know now from his nonprofit filings that he has not donated any money from the Wayfair organization to anybody. Fucking two-faced, bro.
Two-faced as fuck. I'm going to play in a minute. I'm just going to play this because it's going to be like, it's like 2 minutes. But I just want to play this because this is like the stuff that this dude was doing, right? This is the stuff that this guy was doing. And he was doing it while at the same time plotting against her. We don't have to do it this second. I'm going to do it here in a minute.
What do you mean? You're setting it up and not setting it up?
Well, I'm just setting you up while I cue it up. But this is like some of the. I have to put my headphones on for this so I can hear it too. But this is some of the red carpet stuff. Actually, if you turn your monitor on, you can see it.
No, that's fine. I've seen it.
Dale with headphones, guys. Oh my God. I haven't heard myself in sync on headphones since I was a child. All right. Let's see if I got this all good to go. All right, so this is like a 2-minute interview, but this is the kind of shit that this guy is talking about on the red carpet. And I also want to point out that what he's about to say on this interview aren't things that he's required to say. These are not things that anybody has asked him to say. And I'm sorry, TikTok, that you guys can't hear this, but if you want to scoot over to YouTube real quick, you'll be able to see it. It's just a 2-minute interview, and we'll be reacting to it. Katie, by the way, I see you there, and I know I have to respond to your text. I haven't yet. You would not believe the weekend I had. So, and I'm not even going to tell you about it. It's that bad. But I am going to respond to you. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for listening to me make my excuses. I appreciate you. Let me just move this over so that I can put it on screen real quick.
So at this point, this is a week into he's like full speed ahead with his crisis PR. Melissa Nathan is on board and working for him.
Right.
By the time his premiere happens.
Exactly. This should be ready to go. Okay.
I didn't expect it to take you this long.
Well, it's because it's brand new.
Congratulations, we do. Look at, first of all, the brooch, everything is on point.
I can't claim any of it. I was dressed by wonderful women.
Oh my god, and you look amazing. I'm gonna bring you a little closer because I'm starting to get snagged.
Okay.
You have made it happen. I mean, this was no easy feat. It is a beloved book from the beginning till right now at the end. How does it feel to take that all in?
I'm a little speechless. It feels very surreal. I probably should have gathered myself before I stepped on the carpet and took all of this in. I'm just grateful. I'm grateful to Colleen for trusting me, for writing such a beautiful book. I'm grateful to her mother for allowing it to happen, because really this was in honor of her mom. And I'm grateful to Blake for just being a powerhouse of a performer and an amazing collaborator, and just all the people, the crew. I my wife. None of this would have happened without my wife, who did that invisible work of being with the children while I was able to make this movie that doesn't get celebrated nearly enough. And I don't know, I'm just kind of speechless, and I'm just excited for it to be released in the world.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a village, like you said. This is a family affair for you as well. Did I see your dad as well here?
My dad and my mom are here, my aunt, my uncle who never shows up to anything. He's never even been to New York. And my cousin who just lost her husband, and this is a family affair, and my best friends are here. And, I think all of us just...
He's so nervous.
It just took a village to make this film, and I feel loved and supported and grateful.
No, as you should. I mean, it all started with a letter that Colleen received from you.
Yeah.
That message must have been so heartfelt. What do you think was the words that you used that really captivated her and made her want to give you over the movie rights?
I would imagine.
She had a lot of requests.
Yeah, I don't know if... Again, I feel like there was some divine guidance there. I don't think it was the words. I think it was the intention and the why that I wanted to make the movie, and the heart that I try to put in everything that I do. And I think at the end of the day, that speaks maybe more than words do. I think that people can feel the intention. It's like the difference between your grandmother's food and a restaurant's food, right? There's something that's always different about it, and that's the way that
food's way better.
We try to make movies, and it's the way I try to live. And
more butter.
I don't know, maybe Colleen just felt that.
Yeah, she definitely did. They put so much heart in it. Just tell me what it was like also collaborating with Blake in this.
Oh, she's a creative force. She's a genius. She was involved in every aspect of this production, and everything she touched, she made better.
I mean, a sequel? Colleen says the ball is in your court. You have the right.
Oh, did she say that? I don't have any ideas yet, but maybe you do. You can come and pitch me the ideas.
No, I'm going to let you enjoy tonight. I'm honestly so proud of you. Congratulations.
It really means a lot. Thank you for your kind words. Have a great...
She's a creative force, guys.
Everything she touched, she made better.
Everything she touched, she made better.
So, that was so normal. And what's so strange is that, you see all of these text messages that he's sending back and forth with his crisis managers.
Yeah.
And they're really hostile. They're really nasty. They're really paranoid. They're really he's on the attack. And it's just so weird that he's that's the guy in the Variety article where he was he's sensitive and he really cares.
Yeah.
And, maybe he doesn't care about the same things I care about. But he definitely doesn't seem like the guy in the text messages. But nobody is refuting that those are genuine.
It's just weird that he's sitting there calling her a creative force.
Yep.
These are things he doesn't have to...
Everything she touches, she improves.
And there's another interview. I don't have anything queued up, and I don't think I could find it enough to get you guys queued up to it. But there's that other interview with that other cast member who we believe is one of the complainants.
Yeah.
another, she filed, I think, either an SH complaint or something similar to an SH complaint also. And she was asked what it was like to work with Justin Baldoni. And she responded with, wow, I don't know. I would have never done that. You know, like as far as like his working as the writer, as the star, the director, and the executive producer. So, you know what I mean?
I have it here, I think. No, I don't. I just have a bunch of pictures of them in the basement.
So she just avoided the question is the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah,
when
yeah,
she was asked about
pivots.
Baldoni, she just pivoted right off of it. But there's Justin Baldoni. Now, here's the thing about it. And this is the thing that gets me really infuriated when I start thinking about that interview. And there's more to that interview. And we'll probably break it down even further later. Not tonight necessarily, but another time. He's lying he's lying through his face, like right through his teeth to that interview and to everybody that he's speaking to. He's talking about all this righteous shit, but he's lying.
Why is he praising her if he thinks that she is involved in all of this nefarious? Does he feel like he was threatened by her so much that he, all the times that he wrote about it and that his lawyer pointed out in the lawsuit that got dismissed?
Yeah. He
felt threatened that much, but he's going to speak so well about her, and then instead of pivoting, you know.
Why is he accusing her of stealing the movie? And then out of one side of his mouth, I mean, this evidence is like, you know how in the Karen Reed trial, they were trying to like get Karen Reed by the interviews that she had given during the first trial. This can't help him if.
Well, I mean, he's not under oath here. Like,
it's not about being under oath.
That makes him a liar.
It's not being about under oath. It's about him going out with this smear campaign or these emails and these texts to these people talking about how Blake Lively stole the movie, how Blake Lively's this, super evil entity with her trifecta of like dragon power and all this other stuff.
Like, I don't think that he has to explain his red carpet interview. I think he has to explain his text messages.
I'm not asking for an explanation. I'm looking at this and going, this guy is fucking bold-faced lying. He's bold-faced lying. Or what is the lie? And which is the lie? Which one's the lie? Was she a fucking creative force who had her hands on every aspect of it and to whom you're grateful and feel, privileged to have worked with? Or is she this snake who stole everything from you? And I'm not saying that he's going to reveal that on the red carpet. I'm saying you're going to pivot. I'm saying if this woman was so fucking horrible to you, why aren't you pivoting in that situation? And I think it's because, and where I'm going with this is, as soon as I heard that, the first time I heard that, I was like, it's like the, alibi. You're creating a fucking alibi right now. It's like an alibi.
I think that's
it's like, what do you mean? You heard what I said. You want to know what I felt about Blake Lively? Look what I said on the red carpet. Because here's the thing. He didn't know that Blake Lively was ever going to find out that he was doing the shit he was doing. So he's building an evidence trail where if there's an accusation or something coming up, he's got what are you talking about? Because if he does,
all I've ever done is sing your praises.
I sang your praises on the red carpet, despite the fact that you put me in the basement.
That's true. They kept saying that, and most importantly, our campaign is untraceable. So they were probably assuring him that it was never going to come back to him. And I think that a lot of the allegations that he didn't have any of this beef with Blake Lively. Well, no, that's not true, because he was telling his editors that he thought that she was being too bossy. But the whole like stealing, threatening, extorting, all of that I think came as a result of her lawsuit and them wanting to put forward like their own strong lawsuit and their own accusations. It's like with Don's Plum.
Yeah.
Nobody cared about this idea that you turned a short film into a feature until they had to defend themselves in a lawsuit.
Nobody talked about the length of the film until it became a problem for Tobey Maguire, until somebody tried to turn it into a problem.
But when your producer David Stutman sued Leonardo DiCaprio and Tobey Maguire,
they
met with attorneys, and I'm sure they gamed out how their defense, like what would be a justifiable reason for you guys blocking the film for which you got sued.
Well,
right?
Look.
And so I feel like they were like, oh, well, we'll just decide that they didn't have the right contracts, or we'll just decide that it was a short turned into a feature or some shit. And so I think that's what Baldoni did.
It's not quite like that, because with my story, Leo did in fact object to the feature film at first, right? We had to call, he called us. He objected to the idea of a feature film, that this film had gotten bigger than he had first anticipated. So that was sort of
that wasn't the fact of the case because he did approve the feature.
There was a foundation for it, is what I'm saying.
He approved the feature and he took it to his agents to.
I know all that, but
yes,
but it was a foundation that was there.
Okay, cool.
For that crack to, or for that fissure to crack.
That helps make my point because Justin Baldoni had this beef with Sony that he kept scapegoating Blake for about the edit. So yes. I think that he just sort of morphed that into this broader, grander conspiracy by Blake Lively to steal his film all throughout, right?
Yes.
In order to serve the purpose of having a PR lawsuit that would make him the victim. Because I think that that's what he's trying to do in all of this. He's trying to make Ryle into the victim, right? Where he's like, men are victims too, and sometimes that's why they're violent. We have to think about the men in these DV situations. We have to think about the offender and why they act out this way, and maybe they just need a hug or whatever the fuck.
A rub on the knee.
So
a gentle rub on the knee is sort of all out.
He has to constantly cast himself as a victim, and if you read any of these books, I've been skimming through them. These books about crisis PR and crisis management by publicists for publicists.
Yeah.
And they always talk about how the top priority is that you have to create a victimization of your client. Your client has to be the one who's victimized. You have to twist everything in order to make them the victim. Like their whole job is to Darvo the publicity. And so I think that that's just what he was trying to do. I think that he turned really, really small irritations that happened during the production.
Yeah.
Like when Blake Lively's working with Sony and not letting him in the cut. And he's like, oh, okay, well, that sucks. I lost a creative dispute. But he turned that into like a bigger thing for the purpose of the lawsuit. So I think at the premiere, he doesn't feel all those things. I think he had to game all that out later. He had to feel worse. Like he had to create this like false story and this false timeline after the fact, after this premiere.
Yeah. Well, I think during too. I mean, I think he's sitting there and he's doing it right there when he's saying these misleading things and not pivoting. What was it like working with Blake Lively? She's a wonderful talent. What an actor.
I believe he felt this way.
Yeah.
I believe that at the red carpet, he doesn't see her as an antagonist.
That's what I'm saying.
He thinks that he did have a nice time working with her. She just had some complaints and he doesn't want those to become public. It was only after she sued him for the retaliation that he is doing at the moment of this red carpet interview where he's trying to silence her, right? And then, people start talking about why they're separate.
So you think he was being honest?
I think he was being honest, that he worked with her happily. He was upset that she had complaints and that he thought they were going to become bigger than they should have. And he should have realized that they were bigger already. It's so funny because if you're right... He needed to treat them as if they were bigger.
If you're right, then this is damning evidence. I mean, not necessarily because, the lie, but if you're right, it's kind of damning evidence. And I'll say that, as nervous as he was in the interview, and he was nervous. I mean, he was just shaking in the throat.
It's honestly the most relatable thing he's ever done.
That interview?
Most of the time, he's such like a talk show host guy. Like he's definitely putting on a facade.
Well, it kind of shows that he was like, he's a little over his head in this because like, he's never been to a premiere of this capacity. Like he's never been to a premiere
of a major studio.
From a major studio with an A-list actor on a movie that they're 100% behind.
What do you think the CBS premiere would have been like?
Small. You remember when we were leaving Los Angeles and we were walking through, and just before we were like, let's go to the Cinerama Dome, the ArcLight one last time. And we went, and there was a projectionist strike, a union strike for projectionists. This was at the right, when digital really started to take over. And they remember this, and then they ushered us through. They ushered us through the back, and the John Wick premiere was being held in the back. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
Well, it was like really like minor. Like
but that is a major studio premiere.
No. But it was a minor premiere. Like it was not a big. They weren't fully behind it. They were just hoping the movie was going to get on. We know this because there was very few press.
It's true. There was like 15 feet of a little red carpet that was lit really well.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it was just like everybody could just walk around.
That's more like
us. Like we were just going to go see the movies and we were like walking right by.
Keanu was almost in arm's reach to us while he's sitting there being interviewed by like one person.
Yeah.
And this was John Wick. Now this was John Wick before John Wick became a big phenomenon. And there was like, will it work? The studio hadn't gotten fully behind it. They were hoping for word of mouth. There was also a real problem with the premiere because it was during the strike, so they just rigged this up to do some press in the back.
So you're saying that the CBS premiere would have been like that?
Would have been smaller like that. Yeah.
Oh, just like inside a theater.
Yeah, and just smaller, just not a big fucking deal, as opposed to, something at Man's Chinese or something as a major, venue with
where they block off the streets and there's security.
And every single, press agent invited.
So,
Blake Lively was a big deal. This book was a big deal.
I'm sorry, I keep stepping over you.
Stop it.
I'm in a weird mood. Maybe this was a little bit of a starstruck type of situation for him.
I think that could be a factor. Do you know?
They had those big what do they call it? The backdrops. That they decorated with all the flowers. It's
massive,
amazing expense for this.
Yeah, it was. They were behind the movie.
Mm-hmm.
They had Taylor Swift on the trailer. They're not going to squander that. A studio's not going to take a Taylor Swift gift, and and not eat every speck of it.
You said Taylor Swift gift, and do you think that that's what she says when she gives somebody a Christmas present?
Like, this is a Swift gift?
Here's your Swift gift.
Here's your
That's so stupid.
Your Christmas Swift?
You shouldn't entertain those.
Is that her Christmas album? Is that what it's going to be called? Christmas Swift?
Swift gift?
Christmas Swift.
Here's your Taylor gift. Okay, so do you want to hear more from the comments?
Yes, please.
We
got
to dipped in.
Yeah, do it.
Leo Edits on TikTok said it sounds like a really difficult set to be a producer for.
Yeah, maybe. They're all tough. I mean, to be sure.
Yeah, for sure. But when you're, they could have done a better job with the SH allegations. They could have
That's not. But I wouldn't even call that a producer problem. I mean, it is to the extent that obviously they're running the production. It's the production company's problem. The producers, the problem is that these guys had all the hats on, and so they couldn't separate themselves from their problems. And if you don't have somebody there to separate those two things, if you don't create an entity for that, if you're the only one policing, they say who's policing the police. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of the situation with Wayfair. There was nobody watching over what Heath was doing. There was nobody watching over what Baldoni was doing. And so when the complaints surfaced, there was nobody there to take care of them. Because that would mean that these guys had to admit to it at some level, and then not only admit to it at some level, but then have to confront it in some way. Mm-hmm. And probably in a deeper way than just simply dealing with it with one person. That would have been at least the smartest thing to do would have been to figure out how to make sure everybody on the set is comfortable, because you had, the fact that he was worried that Blake Lively was going to go out and talk shit to the press had to mean that should mean that he would have been worried about what she was saying on the set. You don't want to lose control of your movie on the set either. Do you know what I mean? I don't know, maybe he doesn't give a fuck, but I wouldn't want to be on a set where everyone thinks I'm a douche predator. Do you know what I mean?
I know, it's so weird that he wanted to handle it after the fact.
Weird.
Why aren't you handling it as it's happening?
Because you have to believe that people are going to talk about it.
People to handle it instead of just taking care of it when it was happening by himself. It's so weird.
Sorry to interrupt, but yeah.
I interrupted you, I think.
You need to stop.
Risky Business.
Yeah, Risky Business. What's
on
up?
TikTok said the marketing focus evidently missed the public DV sentiment. His image is his brand, and his entire ego is wrapped up in that.
Yeah.
His brand image is in direct conflict with his actions. That's true.
Claire's here. Hi, Claire.
Hi, Claire.
Yeah, that's true. That's well put.
Leo Edit says, would you ever play the main character in any of your movies? I know you're in some of them.
I think I might, in the right one.
I like that you're like Hitchcock. You have a little cameo in each one.
I definitely I definitely do a little cameo when I can. I'm even in the party scene in Ape Apocalypse. One of the party scenes. I think I am. I probably got cut, them fuckers.
Katie is asking, so Team Blake over here?
No, I'm not on anybody's team, bro.
We dislike publicists. We dislike smear campaigns.
We dislike lies.
Smear campaigns are real bad.
We dislike misogyny.
So we're team anti-smear campaign.
We're about fairness in the workplace. We're about the truth. We're about those kinds of things. I don't know Blake Lively. I don't care about Blake Lively personally at all. Why would I? And I don't care about Blake or Justin Baldoni either. I don't care about these people or in terms of, I don't wish any harm upon them.
I don't think that they're on our team, so we're not.
Yeah, they're not looking out for me. I ain't looking out for them neither. But I'm interested in this story because I see a deliberate attempt to destroy somebody's life. I see a bunch of so-called influencers jumping on the bandwagon to do that in ways that seem unnatural. I see a hatred and a vitriol being pointed at a woman out of absolutely nowhere.
We also see a bunch of messages sent between clients and their publicists about doing a smear campaign and keeping it all on the hush hush.
That's right.
We can't write what we're gonna do to her.
No. We can't write that. We can't write that we're going to bury her.
We can't put these things in writing. Can you imagine what would happen if we put it in writing? Oh, you guys would get sued. That's what would happen.
And just bear in mind that his words were, it was his words that said, according to Jennifer Abel, he wants to know that we can bury her.
He wants to know that she can be buried.
He wants to know that she can be buried.
Also, he said,
and then their response, of course, is of course we can do that, but we can't put that in writing.
Yeah.
Putting it in writing, the fucking geniuses.
Yeah, he also said we would need something like this, and he sent them like basically orders to invent a story about how she's a bully.
Yeah,
you know, it's like it's all there. They just didn't think that anybody was gonna get those messages. You know, like why would anybody have found those if it wasn't for Stephanie Jones? You know.
Yeah.
Okay. CC on TikTok said he played a bit on that red carpet. This is snake behavior. He was setting her up already.
Yeah, exactly how I see it.
He was trying to throw her off the scent that he was out for blood.
100%. That's exactly how I see this. I see this exactly as this. He didn't know that she was going to find out any of this behind the scenes shit. So if he's out there praising her and saying all the things that she wants him to say about her authorship, if he gives her authorship, he completely diverts the eyes off of him. And it's interesting because if you remember, she and Ryan Reynolds proposed in a letter of forum, a forum letter that said, hey, if you do this, we'll stop any dispute with you. And this, of course, was the infamous note where written, for them as I guess like in the sort of voice of Justin Baldoni as a man enough podcaster.
Yeah, so here's how the timeline went down, okay?
Yeah.
So Justin Baldoni hires Melissa Nathan on July 31st. Melissa Nathan gets right to work trying to come up with a social media combat plan, okay?
Yes. By the way, those aren't Angela's words. The social media combat plan is her words.
Yeah, social combat
are her
plan.
words. Yeah.
And then August 9th is the premiere where everybody sees online, right? This part was probably organic. At least a few people who care about movie premieres would say something like this, but not everybody. But they were like, hey, it's weird that he is not taking any pictures with the rest of the cast. How come he's separate?
Right.
And that is when the publicists decide that they're going to just jump right in. That they have to get ahead of the story, that they can't let Justin Baldoni or anybody admit his fault. And so that's when they start the attack. Okay? And so Blake Lively is seeing that there's all of this, like, that those messages are getting boosted, that maybe she did something wrong or her marketing was shitty and all of this other stuff. That's coming from Melissa Nathan. They plan it. They wrote it down.
Right.
And then she is like, okay, well, obviously all of this bad press is coming from how we decided not to walk with Justin Baldoni, because she does see some of that chatter on the internet. She's like, okay, well, this must be why there's so much negativity. But instead of having all the negativity on me, why wouldn't Justin Baldoni also just take a little bit of accountability for how his cast didn't want to walk with him?
Right.
Like, so they were like, if you just admit that maybe something went wrong, you're not telling the whole story, but you understand what it was and that it was something, so that it can take the heat off of Blake Lively in the press.
Yeah.
Why don't you just admit to that? We'll draft something for you. You can put it out. It's like a golden bridge you can walk across, and then there's no beef with anybody, and everybody knows to get their dogs off of me.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, he sends that to Melissa Nathan, his crisis PR, and what does she do? Because she's in business and she knows that she makes more money if she fights, she tells him to lawyer up.
Yeah, dude, if he signs that document, it's over. She doesn't have a job. I mean,
he could have revised the document. He could have had it say whatever he wants. They could have
of course.
sent back and forth drafts.
It was clearly a draft. When you read it, it's clearly just a rough draft.
He should have taken it was basically like a mediation. He should have taken it. He should have
100%. He should have taken it. It was there.
But he sent it to Melissa Nathan, who is not going to give him legal advice, right? She told him to lawyer up because she makes money if he does that.
Yeah.
If he fights, she makes more money.
Of course.
She's bloodthirsty.
Yeah.
Right?
Just like lawyers, bro.
And then she knows that Sarah Woods is bloodthirsty, right? It's because they've had meetings together.
Yeah.
And so he knows that he wants to protect Wayfarer. So she's like, okay, well, if I tell him to fight and I convince him to, I'm going to make so much money. I'm going to be so rich. And these people, I don't care if they're all buried at the end of it. I don't care if like the everything is like razed to the ground. I'm going to be rich because I'm the crisis PR. And so he takes that advice instead of like actually consulting somebody who has his best interest in.
I just want to clarify one more time, right? Like, he had an opportunity to get out of this by signing a simple letter that stated that
some shit went down.
No, well, just that they were a young company and that he has a lot to learn. It was basically the same kind of stuff. And this is why it was actually a really, I thought, clever written, composed letter, because it really was very much in the vein of the things he said in his TED Talk, which is relative to like him, on a path to learning.
I embrace the opportunity to learn and grow from this, and I'm going to be accountable and all of that.
Right. Expand my ability to recognize where toxic masculinity really does live. And, because the part of ridding it is first shining lights where it exists in the shadows of your life and your behavior.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
So,
you know what I mean? So like, it's just so wild because... But
that was the pivotal choice that he screwed up that got him into this mess and why he's going to lose everything.
All he had to do was sign that paper.
All he had to do was
negotiate and sign.
He could have shown Melissa Nathan, gotten her advice and be like, I don't know whether that's the best choice for me. And then ask literally anybody else. Anybody outside of his orbit that wouldn't directly profit from him going on the attack. And, he wouldn't have been in this situation. I think that any lawyer, if he had consulted a lawyer, they would have been like, well, maybe not fucking Brian Friedman because he wants to.
Well, it wouldn't have been. That's a litigator. He would have gone to a transactional lawyer. He would have went to somebody who said, hey, what do I do in this situation? Because a transactional attorney, do you know the difference?
It would have been, so you're saying he should have gone to a transactional attorney with the...
He has a transactional attorney. He should have taken the problem to his transactional attorney because a part of what they do is manage problems before they become litigious.
Perfect. Then
so the first thing you do is you would take that to your attorney and go, what the fuck? Like as soon as they got those complaints filed, what they should have done is taken it to their attorney. Had they, the attorney would have probably known to go check with the CRD and check out what their standards are or already have them on hand for his own firm or her own firm. Department. Exactly. So it's like it's an epic fuck up, obviously.
Yeah, that's true. The attorney would be like, "Oh, okay. So you had some complaints of SH, like, and what did you do about it? Oh, you just apologized? Yeah, that's not good enough.
Yeah,
like,
no,
we definitely need to fix this.
Yeah, there are standards that you should follow in order to make sure that this is remedied to the satisfaction of the law,
right?
So that you're not exposed, and that's the whole point of. Well, I mean, transactional attorneys, they're exposed. Their job isn't to just make sure you're not exposed. Their job is to actually do transactions, right? They actually negotiate the deals that you make with the studios. They would have created the Rare deal with Sony, for example. But they're also there to be like, hey, I got trouble. What about this? And then they go, oh, and then they advise you on that, or they put you in contact with the right person to solve that problem.
He's also only consulting publicists Jennifer Abel and Melissa Nathan, who have a vested interest in him continuing a conflict, instead of consulting Stephanie Jones, who had been working with Wayfair for much longer and had a relationship with them for much longer.
Yes.
And is higher up in her profession. She's been in this for a long time. I think she would have seen that for what it was and been like, okay, this is an opportunity. Why don't we turn you into the victor and then allow you to pivot this entire situation into more like podcast episodes where you're the bigger man. You had a conflict and you resolved it.
I can't believe they didn't do this. I cannot, as I sit here, believe. The first thing I would have done, especially if I was like nefarious about it, like if the whole thing to me was like, if the whole thing was a scam and I was making this front up, the first thing I'd have been was like, oh, look at this opportunity they just handed me. I would have promoted her to fucking director and made myself. I would have created. I would have created a moment I would have turned this into Justin Baldoni is the great fucking savior, the great white savior for marginalized women in Hollywood. I would have turned it into that. Mm-hmm. That's what I would have done.
That was the opportunity in front of him. I just think that it's really, it's interesting.
Stupid.
His issue is entirely in his own head. He writes about this extensively in his memoir, which I don't recommend. It's not good. But he writes about how he doesn't call it paranoia, but he voices this, where he always feels like he's under attack. He has his whole life. He's had to wear...
Didn't he describe himself like wearing a suit of armor, right?
Yeah, he talks about how he has to wear the suit of armor and he wants to be able to take it off. But he's very vague about it. It's just this like continuing issue that he has where he just feels like he's under attack. And I just feel like that's exactly the sort of mentality that would make somebody screw up the situation so intensely. It's like, you can see it, like, where he was like, I'm sure that this is exactly what they want to do to me. Somebody sent him an article about Francis Ford Coppola kissing people on his set and being accused of inappropriate behavior, okay? And he was like, yeah, man, they're going to treat me exactly like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, nobody is doing...
No.
You're so paranoid.
Yeah.
Like, why do you... He launched a whole attack against like shadows.
Shadows.
It's weird.
Perfectly said.
This is not a professional person. I don't know why he's not savvy enough. I don't know why. I mean, I guess it's like he got too big, but
too fast.
That he's not a professional who understands an opportunity before him to turn bad press into good press. It's like that's like the first rule you ever learn when you learn about Hollywood.
Totally.
It's weird. Okay. Do you want to hear more from the chat?
Yes, I do.
Let's see.
We should take. Did we do any? Are you still on TikTok?
Yes, I'm just finishing.
We should definitely do. Yeah. Poor YouTube.
Cece says, I don't think he was being honest on the red carpet. That's why he was so nervous. He was playing a part live.
Well, I don't know. Maybe.
I think he was just nervous.
I think he was overwhelmed by the amount of attention he was getting. It's weird when they're like, Justin, Baldoni, Justin, it's me, Justin, look over here. It's like, it's a little overwhelming. People snapping photos, you know?
Katie said, I don't think either of them is right on this. And Fire Country fan said, do you think she did anything wrong or is it all Baldoni? So it's kind of the same comment.
Well, do I think she did anything wrong? No, I don't think she did anything wrong. You know, like, I don't understand that question because, like, what the fuck do you mean, did she do anything wrong? Like, what could she have done wrong? What did she do wrong? Explain what she did wrong. Was complaining about the way that she was being treated or things that they were saying and the way in which they were conducting themselves on set, is complaining about that, like, doing something wrong? Because, like, when do we complain? At what point do we complain? When we're uncomfortable or no? Like, if she's showing up on the set and people are treating her badly or saying stupid shit or coming into her trailer uninvited, when somebody came into her trailer, when somebody did come into her trailer invited, that wouldn't have been the issue.
That's on TikTok.
Okay?
That's your camera.
I know where TikTok is.
Okay.
I know what's up.
Okay. I think that it's interesting.
You take me out of character, bro.
You could say that maybe she did something wrong in different contexts, like at different parts. Like maybe she stepped on her she put her foot in her mouth. That's what I'm trying to say. She put her foot in her mouth a few times throughout the publicity of the film, but I think she'd been through so much that I think that she was set up to fail.
But the question is like, did she do anything wrong?
So listen.
Well, before you continue, I'm just interrupting because the question is, did she do anything wrong in life? Is that what we're talking about? Did she do anything wrong when she was sitting on the red carpet and said that her husband rewrote the scene without telling the writer? Yeah, those things are wrong. None of those have to do with anything litigious. None of those things have to do with any of the accusations that they made against her, both in their dismissed lawsuit or any of the other bad publicity that they've been trying to spread about her. So when you ask if she did anything wrong as a human being, thousands of things probably, and on that set, probably dozens of things that she did wrong. Let me tell you one thing she did wrong. If you want to like try to point fault at people for things, yeah, she shouldn't have asked to be in the editing room. She shouldn't have tried to assert herself in the editing room. She should have respected the space of the director, to give the director the opportunity to finish their cut. Who cares? She asked to be in the editing room and they let her in. That's the mistake. The mistake isn't asking. The mistake isn't having the ambition or the desire to grow and be something more than what you were, initially or initiated as in the particular project. There's nothing wrong with that. But, was it inappropriate for Jamie Heath to let Blake Lively in? Yes. Should Blake Lively have waited if she was asked to? I would have.
I think that her reason for asking for the dailies specifically, because she was like, she asked for to get into the edit, but then she specifically asked for the dailies. I think she was looking for evidence of his misconduct with other actors because she knew what she witnessed. But I think that she heard from the actor that played young Lily. And if that story that was leaked, and I don't know how valid it is, but if it was valid, it's really, really awful. And I think she wanted to know whether any of that was on film. I'll
bet she was looking at the dailies because she wanted to cut the movie together. I'll bet she was looking at the dailies because she wanted to be a part of the creative process. I'm not saying that she didn't in her, like sort of as a secondary, or maybe that was her primary reason, and the secondary reason was to learn about the movies, and how to cut it or whatever. I just think that primarily speaking, her ambition was around the film, making the best film possible.
I think she was seeking video evidence for her complaint to the CRD.
I mean, it's
we're
speculating about,
what I was
but
getting at before about the question was, did she do anything wrong? I just think I've mentioned this before, but I think it's really important to remind everybody that the lesson of Me Too was that we all agreed that what we wanted people to do was, if they experience something or they see some misconduct in a workplace, that they're supposed to speak up about it. So
Right.
in that case, nothing that she could have done to that end would have been wrong. That's all what we've all agreed should happen as a result of Me Too.
Right.
We don't want people to be able to get away with bad conduct so that they can make more victims. So I don't know in what context did she do anything wrong.
Yeah, it's not like, again, when you're asking questions about whether or not she did anything wrong, that question's kind of a loaded question, because the answer is, yeah, man, she did lots wrong. Did anything that she do, was anything that she did worth the kind of backlash that we're seeing? Fuck no. Was anything that she did was anything that she did that we know about tantamount to her taking over a movie? Absolutely not. When Blake Lively asked to be in the editing bay, she asked. To get that? Like, you see how that works? Like, if she asks and then somebody says yes, that's not Blake Lively doing something wrong.
Guilty Angel said, call the wambulance. Wah.
Yeah.
What the fuck is Baldoni's problem? It's really funny, Guilty Angel. Baldoni needed to pick one actor or director. I think it was overwhelming for him too.
Look at, he said so, right? That's not in that clip, but there's another clip where he talks about how she's going to direct next when he's asked about Blake Lively.
She's
on that very same night. He's like, what's next? And he's like, Blake's, she's going to direct next. And so, he was aware of her contribution. Like he understood the caliber of the work that she was bringing to the table. This is the other weird part of it, because he's sitting there calling her creative force in that interview that we played earlier. There's another interview where I'm going to put a compilation of this stuff together, but there's another interview in the very same red carpet where he says that she's going to direct next, that she's ready. None of this stuff is required. There's no contractual obligation. So he's either being dishonest, or he either believes it and he's living in the swells of this conflict at the same time. But I think it's the former. I think he's just trying to be deceptive because here he is. Remember, this is the same guy who on the red carpet is saying she's a creative force and she's going to direct, she's ready. It's the same guy who said, so let me get this straight to his editors. Some actress is going to look, have control over the cut over me, the director.
Yeah, he's fucking faking it, bro.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just when you put it all together, you realize this guy's a fucking bull-faced liar, and he's been doing it over and over and over again, and people are not seeing it because it's not all in one place at one time. But when you put the timeline together and the evidence that exposes him for what he's done, which is hire a PR firm that he, by his own words, according to Jennifer Abel, said that he wants to know that Blake Lively can be buried by the work they do. Mm-hmm. By the work they fucking do. At the same time of him doing that, he's on the red carpet calling her a creative force and saying that she's ready to direct. He's a bull-faced liar, guys.
Lee said on YouTube, Baldoni's narcissistic personality is revealed by portraying the Ryle character as someone to feel empathy for, and that's not the point of view of the book. I'm so glad this is a point in conversation today, because I think this is an important distinction about and really in many ways envelops this entire dispute. Erica said, trusting him with your drink seems like the bare minimum. And I'm like that's, yes.
The very bare minimum.
Because what you're talking about alternatively is somebody who's going around poisoning people.
Yeah.
Like, you're literally talking about poisoning. So yes, I hope that he is somebody you can trust your drink with. What the fuck is that sentence doing?
The kind of guy, it's a horrible sentence.
I read that, it took me all the way out. I was like, I'm sorry?
They're writing for the fucking Variety, and she chooses that.
He's the sort of guy you could trust your drink with. You mean he's not an absolute,
how many people do you hang out with? How many people do you hang out with that you don't trust your drink with?
I'm sorry,
knowingly.
You're talking about somebody who would poison somebody. It's literally what happens.
By the way, when it's the person that you can share your drink with or whatever, you're willing to not share your drink, you're willing to trust your drink. Forget it. I got completely thrown off.
Getting roofied, that's where the bar is.
Yeah.
Is it roofie or not roofie? What the fuck?
It's so frightening.
Can we not? God, I'm so bothered by that.
Yeah, it's nasty.
Erica said, Dale, does your grandma not cook with butter? I'm from the South. There's so much butter in my grandma's food.
My grandma, did she cook with butter? She probably
You said that
did.
restaurants were better than your grandmother's food because they cook with butter, and everyone's like, wait a minute. There's never been a grandmother on the face of the
I always
planet.
say things that get people up in my shit. Like, you know, that little breakout video we had on TikTok about the whale protecting the killer whale.
Everybody was like, you're not going to call them cops, Dale.
You're like, they're not, first of all, police, no.
They're like, ACAP, Dale. Come on.
ACAP, Dale.
Erica said, I made some of my grandma's recipes and I was shocked at how much butter and fat was involved. That's why it always tasted so good.
That's great. All right, well, I sit corrected.
Oh, Claire said, I saw the April Apocalypse and really liked it.
Oh, that's neat. Yeah, it's a cute little movie, right? I'm proud of that little movie, you know. Look, it's all on the Tarnell brothers. They're the ones who put that movie together. But I came in and kind of like, I was the edit doctor. Myself and Artie Rob, we came in there, we fixed the cut. It was not ready for release. And so, yeah, we put that movie back together again in the editing room. And I think that we really showed off what they pulled off, those Tarnell brothers. So thanks for watching that. That's really cool. I'm so
Erica said
proud of them.
They're gonna look at YouTube comments and just see our diversion into food. LOL.
That's funny.
Okay, so Tiny Kitchen Show apparently heard some story about an anonymous source story. Okay, this is negative about Blake Lively.
Okay,
and these are always so fascinating because they're never
sources close to the.
I know they always come from people who will not name their sources, and so it's just like, of course, that could be their publicists.
Oh, let's hear it. Let's hear all the bad stuff.
What I love is that topically, this thing that I'm about to read to you from Tiny Kitchen Show actually shows up on the spreadsheet that the publicist sent to Jamie Heath as like, okay, here's our social combat plan. Okay, check this out. Supposedly, someone from the cast said that Blake promised them, the cast, access to Taylor Swift if they took her side. They did, and then after the Taylor fight, which is like...
There is no Taylor fight. Yeah.
After the Taylor fight, no one has spoken up for her again. Coincidence? I hope it really goes to court. I think it's going to come out that they both did things they shouldn't.
I think you're going to be very disappointed that she probably didn't do anything wrong. With relative to the complaint, not in life. Blake Lively is not a perfect person.
A few people in the comments are like, I don't know if this is true. I don't know if supposedly is a reputable source. And Tiny Kitchen Show returns said, LOL,
supposedly.
It wasn't, I think it was Katie Joy.
Oh.
I don't assume it to be true, but I do wonder why other celebrities stopped standing up for her in the beginning. They did. Here's the thing about lawsuits.
What do you mean?
Here's the thing about lawsuits. You have to shut up. And everybody who's a professional who knows about how to conduct themselves through a civil litigation, they know to shut up. And Justin Baldoni just got seriously burned by one of his friends who showed support for him by showing photos of herself on set on what was supposed to be a closed set.
Yeah.
And it completely dismantled his defense against one of Blake Lively's accusations.
Bad.
And so I just feel like that is the result of having your friends speak up for you.
Yeah.
You can get in trouble by them just innocently saying something that you want to make sure that you keep control of the narrative. So I think that Blake Lively's friends know better than to speak up because they don't want to harm her case. I think it's very, very reasonable that everybody's just being tight-lipped. I don't think it means anything. And only one side of this entire lawsuit is invested in trying to make it seem like she doesn't have any friends.
Well, let me just say that the friends that already did speak up for her, and I think they said something about why did they not, what do you expect them to do? You don't expect them to like, come out with a weekly statement? Like, I still stand up for her, I swear it. Because we know that Paul Feig did. We know that there were others who did stand up for her. And who said...
Oh, yeah, and they get beat up for it, too. It's like, it's not like it's exactly like you guys have, like, that it's a comfortable place to talk freely, you know what I mean?
But by the way, like, what are they supposed to say? First of all, they're not going to insert themselves in controversy that could potentially harm themselves or the projects that they're working on. The last thing that they need to do is get mud on their face in a situation they don't need to.
Or her case.
Because nothing they say is going to help her case.
Yeah, like Miranda Davis, that was her name. So when she spoke up in support of Justin Baldoni, she really destroyed
That's right.
one of his like
this is a great example.
His, like, main arguments.
Yeah.
It was really bad.
It's
so, it's
so bad.
This is why the advice from attorneys is always
shut up.
Do not talk.
Yeah.
Nobody talks.
Dude, when you get prepared for a deposition, bro.
That's why they call them leaks. Like, you're not supposed to be telling anybody anything.
when you get prepared for a deposition, and for anyone who doesn't know, I was sued by Leonardo DiCaprio and Tobey Maguire. And so I was deposed for several days, not one day, 5 days of deposition I did. I think it was at least 5.
Sounds exhausting.
5 fucking days in a row, I might add. And, we get prepped and we sit with those lawyers, bro. And those lawyers are like, STFU unless, and only like answer the questions as minimally as possible. Yes and no whenever possible.
Yep.
Don't elaborate. You're going to want to, you're going to crave it. Don't fucking do it. Of course I didn't listen. And not too many do.
You talk a lot? No.
Yeah, I know. I'm guarded by the truth. I was guarded by the truth, though. I only spoke the truth, and it worked. As far as I'm concerned, my deposition's like a,
No, it's really clear.
It's clear.
It's
I don't fuck around.
I mean, I'm biased, obviously.
You're so biased.
I like you.
Quite a bit. It's pretty sweet.
Oh yeah, Erica said Jenny Slate was completely bullied off the internet for supporting
Blake Lively. Yeah, so nobody
Probably
wants.
because the people that were speaking on her behalf started receiving nonstop hate. Lee says Luke Evans stuck up for Blake and he got death threats.
He got death threats. People aren't going to mess around with this. Like they're going to be like, "Yo, Blake, go take care of this in the courts." And then once you're exonerated, wait till she's exonerated by a judgment.
Oh yeah.
Wait till that judgment comes, and then you hear the outpouring of support for her. But they're going to wait until you guys are all quieting down. And I'm not talking about you guys specifically,
but was it WME? What's that guy's name?
Yes,
Ari
exactly.
Emanuel.
Ari Emanuel came out.
Yeah, he spoke up because he's untouchable. He's like at a level in Hollywood where he's like,
yeah,
come at me. I don't
No,
care.
he's the guy who rules the roost. Everyone's saying that he was doing this as a favor to Ryan Reynolds, which he obviously refutes.
But anybody lower doesn't want that kind of conflict.
People stood up for her and they took blows, and they're not. And those who do it aren't going to repeat it, even if they didn't take blows. It's not like they're going to come out with a weekly update of their support for Blake Lively. It's I've never observed any kind of behavior that these guys are trying to say that she did on their set. In my experience with her, she's been nothing but a professional for the last several decades in this industry, et cetera, et cetera. What fucking more are they going to say? There's nothing more to say.
Tiny Kitchen Show asked, this is a good question, you really think it will make it to trial? And Lee said, I believe Friedman will be sanctioned and the judge will rule for Blake in a summary judgment.
The problem with the
Lee
summary
said,
judgment...
My husband is an attorney and he's been following the case with me. So
yeah.
That's a bit of an educated opinion.
Yeah, and I've been screaming summary judgment for a very long time. I think that the problem with summary judgment is so many plaintiffs, so many defendants.
Yeah,
the only problem with summary judgment is she sued everybody and their mothers. So, and none of them got thrown out. Well, I guess Wallace, but we're waiting on that one as far as whether or not that's going to get, whether or not her amended complaint was sufficient.
Yeah, she filed it. So
we're waiting on it.
He's going to, I think that's this week actually, his deadline for his motion to dismiss from her amended complaint. Also today, I think, or maybe very soon, was supposed to be the deadline for Wayfair to finally answer the
yes,
the discovery. Like there was that whole list of things that were missing, like hundreds and hundreds of documents that they'd been like kicking the can down the road for like months now. Yeah. And so apparently they had 1 week extension that they were granted, and that expires maybe even today.
Katie said
we'll see what happens.
Katie said she doesn't like how the question she asked was thrown back at me, but okay. I don't know which one that is. If you tell me which question you're talking about specifically, maybe I can improve the way you feel about that.
Where is Katie?
On TikTok.
Oh, okay. Let me see.
I don't know which question you're talking about, so it's hard to help you on that.
Oh, careful, you're making noise.
I know. Sorry, guys. I just have to.
Let me see what it was.
It's not about throwing a question back at you, though. I mean, that's not the intention, at least. So, glad to revisit the question, though.
I can't find the question.
Okay, well, Katie, if you want to restate the question, I'll...
so Team Blake over there is the only question I can see. That was a long time ago.
If it's the Team Blake question, it's... For me, I find it offensive to be asked if I'm Team Blake. I just find that offensive. It's not... It's like I just don't understand the I don't understand why people aren't interested in the truth. I don't understand why that's not the priority here. And the priority... And I think that what happens is you choose a team... If you choose Team Truth, then you end up actually looking for what is wrong in the case instead of looking for what is wrong with the person you didn't choose to be a team member for.
I'm also just as a rule, I'm very suspicious of anybody that wants to divide people into teams, because that's one of the lowest like the lowest effort manipulation tactics
Yeah.
that exists. When you want to divide a group of people and make them feel like they have some sort of like team, they get defensive of that team.
Yeah.
It's like one of the easiest things you can do. Divide people.
I need to get better about getting emotional about my responses to these kinds of things, because it doesn't fucking matter whether or not people think I'm on Team Blake or I'm on Team Baldoni. You know, I know who I am and what I stand for, and I feel very good about myself in that respect. I don't really play around with, things like trying to, hold down some kind of popular thought, or, you know what I mean? I like Taylor Swift because she's fucking good. You know what I mean? Not because everyone else does. I just happen to agree with everyone else on that particular note. Sorry for the pop, guys.
A scientist said, his lawsuit made me believe he is guilty AF more than Lively's lawsuit did on its own.
Yeah, well, exactly. And I believe that your reaction is the reaction the judge is having. Your reaction is the reaction that certainly Angela and I have both had with not just his complaint, but all the things he filed afterwards. When he put up the website, the press tour they did. I mean, all these things I think point to a person trying to, when you look at Donald Trump and all the fucking shit this guy causes, and everybody keeps saying the same thing when he jacks up a tariff here or says this or about that, when it comes to avoiding the questions about his past that really do matter about his ability or his fitness for something like the White House. He creates these diversions. And this is the same thing that, I think that the Baldoni camp, this is like PR 101. And to be sure, Donald Trump is the genius PR, probably the most genius PR guy of our lifetime, certainly. And you have all these PR firms that follow the same methodology, which is create a diversion, everybody will swarm to that, and then we can continue with our covert behavior. So sorry, guys. So, I'm not offended by it. I get offended by it, but I'm truly not, because ultimately I just want to know who's telling the truth. And listen to me, if Justin Baldoni proves his case, I'll be with him with fucking horns blowing behind me. It's not going to happen.
He was given the opportunity to give evidence to the court, and he just didn't.
No, he didn't.
I'm trying to find this. This is a there. Oh, okay, here it is. Okay, found it.
Delicate says, I'm team don't manipulate my news, and she's team no online bullying.
Yep, that's right.
Word. That's
Okay,
it,
so
man.
this
That's
is
why I like you
interesting.
so much.
This is an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
Lee said, SH is any behavior of a sexual nature that makes you feel uncomfortable. Baldoni is on record for apologizing for that behavior. Tiny Kitchen Show said, when? I know he apologized for not considering changes he wanted in the script and her contributions and her feelings like shit, and her feeling like shit about that. No, Lee is referring to a different time where he admits to his misbehavior on set and he apologizes for it. So Tiny Kitchen Show, I just want to tell you about this. This is in Justin Baldoni's on his timeline from his website that he put up. June 1st, 2023. This is on page 33. This is him admitting to being fully aware. This is like a recap of all the other times where he has it listed before here too. So this isn't the only place where he admits that Blake Lively had credible SH claims, okay?
Yeah.
This is his lawyer writing about Justin Baldoni, okay?
Yeah.
June 1st, 2023. Upon returning to production, Lively requested a meeting with Baldoni and the film's producers, during which she shared a series of grievances that she appeared to have spent the past 5 days over analyzing. So, okay, they can minimize it, but these still exist, okay? This happened.
I like that. Like the fucking audacity, the goddamn arrogance.
You're an employer. Your employee is complaining. You have a job to do.
You got a job to do. You got to fucking sort that through. And the first thing you do is align.
Who cares about whether she overanalyzed or analyzed a little? It happened.
The fuck's that got to do with it? She's got a complaint. Deal with it.
From the outset, it was clear that she had scrutinized every minor interaction and perceived slight from the previous week. In the meeting, Lively revisited the sexy comment, an issue Baldoni had already apologized for twice. So here he is admitting that he had apologized for calling her sexy twice. First, minutes after the incident on May 23rd, 2023. This is within the first few weeks of filming. Okay.
Yeah.
This is not after they had some sort of like conflict about the edit. This is way, way, way before. This is the beginning of filming. Okay. And again, later, Lively herself had previously acknowledged and seemingly accepted the apology. According to the Civil Rights Department, an apology is not enough. An employer cannot just apologize and make it go away. You have an obligation to address these things properly. Okay.
And there's not one thing. There are like there's a whole sort of team of things that you've got to do. Of course, acknowledging it, but also implementing the procedures to prevent it from happening again.
It's very simple. They have it all laid out.
Yeah, they do.
You can go to the Civil Rights Department and they have it all laid out. They make it really easy for people to access.
We're gonna do a breakdown on it.
They don't want people to break the law, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So despite this, Baldoni apologized a third time in an effort to move forward. Like, you could have just been a professional and like done actually move forward. Additionally, she accused Heath of looking at her on May 16th. That was even before then, like earlier in the production.
Now, this is going to be when when they were in the trailer, and he insisted that he had to be there.
When she had specifically asked him to turn his back during a conversation in her makeup trailer because she was nude, getting her makeup removed. Okay? Heath explained that he hadn't realized he had looked at her. So here he is acknowledging another time of SH where she was like, hey, could you turn your back? I don't want you to see me nude. And she looks up and he's looking straight at her. Okay? That's an issue.
And listen to me, a guy who says that he didn't realize that he had looked at her is just, there's so much full of shit around that. Like, first of all, if I'm in a room with a drop dead gorgeous A-list actor and she says turn around and don't look back, I'm just not going to do that.
You're just obviously going to comply.
I'm just going to wait until I know it's clear or I'll ask. I'm not going to
I'll leave the trailer and be like, hey, listen, can we talk when you're not in disrobe or whatever?
And any attempt to do anything other than just look the other way until you're told to turn back around is SH.
But
any
attempt. Important to recognize this is not misinformation. This is coming from Baldoni and his attorney.
Correct.
Okay? Brian Friedman prepared this for us to read and
That's
scrutinize.
right.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So let's see. Yeah, Heath explained that he hadn't realized he had looked at her, but apologized nonetheless, because, that fixes everything. Lively acknowledged, I know you weren't trying to cop a look. Right, because she doesn't want to cause a conflict in the middle of, it's May 16th. That's the very beginning of the shoot.
Yes.
She's like, I can't believe what I got myself into, but let's just try and get through it. Lively further claimed that Heath had shown her a video of his wife's home birth and thought it was pornographic. Heath, shocked by this characterization, which is like, what are you doing? Why are you shocked? You just showed her a picture of a nude woman in the dark.
Exactly.
Like, we've all seen that picture. It's not very clear what it is. Confirmed that she did, in fact, understand it was a video of a post-birth recording of his wife and newborn daughter. He also explained that Baldoni had asked him to show the clip to Lively as part of a creative discussion, that Lively had not actually seen the video. At no point are any of these two men asking Blake Lively if she wants to see the video. At no point are either of these two men asking for her consent to, can I show you this thing? This conversation also happens after the scene was already filmed. So they're just trying to, I guess, win an argument that passed, that isn't even relevant anymore.
Yeah, and you have to remember that SH is about the victim's relationship to the event, to the occurrence.
Yes.
So if
she's
somebody
eating lunch with her assistant.
After.
And he comes over with a phone in hand, ready to show her a picture of a nude woman. And she's like, what the fuck is this? And he was like, oh, yeah, about yesterday. About yesterday when we were filming that thing and you guys had a creative difference. Anyway, Baldoni told me to fucking show you this thing to, like, prove my point. She's like, what are you guys doing?
Another instance is the talk of corn, right? The corn addiction. Yeah?
Yeah.
Look, man, that's SH, dude. Like, if that makes you feel uncomfortable, if somebody telling you about your corn addiction uninvited, if that comes up in a conversation, that's the basis for SH.
I understand how that came up. So I've been reading the book It Ends With Us, and that is an issue that is brought up as Ryle's problem. And so Baldoni, for some reason, like aligned so much with Ryle that he thought it was worthwhile to share that he had this own problem of his own. It's not actually a thing. Another
moment where, thank you for shedding light on this, because this is another moment where he conflates his real life and the life of Ryle and the story of It Ends With Us. This is what he did in the slow dance too, right? In the slow dance, you're like, people want to say he's Ryle, and you've been reading the book and you say, yeah, you know what? Ryle does do that kind of behavior, even if it's not particularly in that scene in the book. it is consistent with the way Ryle behaves. But what Ryle doesn't do and has never done is direct an actor, has never asked an AD for the background to react a certain way while he's acting.
He's also never been somebody's boss where he has to watch his mouth in the workplace.
Yeah.
And he can't talk about certain things because they're offensive or could be considered offensive. And then it's a problem he has to deal with.
Correct. So the point that I'm trying to make, though, is just that this idea, this notion that Ryle gets to just slip in and out of his workday, especially if it's not something that's scripted and understood and worked out in between the other performers, is Justin Baldoni dropping the ball.
Nobody's saying that these aren't innocent mistakes, but she had complaints and he was obligated to deal with them properly.
Well, this is the important fucking distinction here. It's not about the severity of it.
Yeah.
The severity, as a matter of fact, none of her complaints are probably meet the requirement of the CRD's severe requirement, or the severe sort of.
They do. He created a hostile work environment based on the.
Well, I'm not talking
her sex.
I'm not talking about the retaliation.
No,
you're not either.
Yeah,
okay.
Where they're like, she's like, okay, these boys are ganging up on me. Baldoni told Heath to show me a video, and he just comes and does it, and I don't have a say in whether I'm not asked whether I want to be shown a video.
Well, then let me put it this way. If Baldoni's SHs were not CRD equivalent to something severe, the retaliation was. And this really is the emphasis of her lawsuit anyway. The emphasis of her lawsuit isn't the SH. That's the unfortunate behavior of Baldoni and his partner during the production of It Ends With Us. That is unfortunate behavior. But we all heard the complaints, and what they are mostly are just uncomfortable complaints. There are complaints that constitute for toxic.
This is not true. She has a lot of causes of action about contractual, about them breaking their contract. No, what is it called? She had contractual like nudity riders and all this stuff that wasn't just about her nudity, but involved a bunch of the ways that that her work would be conducted on set, and they broke those agreements. So the SH did break contracts, right? So that is part of her civil. It's not that it was just like a.
My point is that even if this SH,
they made agreements and then they went back on them.
Let me make this point because I think it's a good point. Even if the SH didn't meet your standards, your personal standards of severe, okay? Forget about the fucking CRD, your personal opinion. These weren't severe, whatever.
Okay, he didn't make her cry. You know what I mean?
The retaliation was, dude.
I don't know where the bar is for these people.
But it's the retaliation, and I just want to keep repeating it because it's fucking worth repeating. It's the retaliation. It's about when you're in a work situation and complaints are filed. Complainants should feel comfortable at least, or confident in filing these complaints, and that confidence being, of course, that these complaints are going to be looked at and addressed in a respectable way that is, in accordance with the fucking state laws, state and federal laws.
She's operating in a post-Me Too industry. She understands what that means. They apparently don't. I'm not sure what world they're living in, but they're not living in a post-Me Too world, like where you actually have an obligation to handle these things appropriately. Or else you get fucking outed, like. They
leveled up before they were ready to level up, man. They were in the wrong world.
Anyway, to just conclude this. So this is from Justin Baldoni's own, Brian Friedman's own document on the website about their lawsuit. This is the timeline document. It says, June 1st, 2023, the meeting underscored the escalating tensions, with Lively using the opportunity to air grievances over interactions that the team had believed were already resolved. They were not resolved. Your belief that they were resolved means nothing. That is completely irrelevant information. But here
are we good?
He is very much admitting.
Angela, are we good?
Exactly. I said sorry. What are you still complaining about?
Is this still that thing I said sorry about?
I know.
I fucking said sorry. What do you want me to do? You want me to build you a little shrine? What the fuck do you want? A sign? I'll get a billboard for you. It says, I'm fucking sorry.
So those are three instances that he straight up admits to happening in the very first month of his production on set. And there are more that she alleges that, he addresses later. But you can't go around saying that he doesn't admit to SH, because he does very, very clearly.
And he doesn't even have to admit to it, because like CC saying, well, she's going to have to prove the SH in order for the retaliation. And that's not true.
No.
That's absolutely not true. Let me tell you what.
That is separate.
They're separate things. It doesn't matter if her SH claims aren't proven. He can't retaliate against her for filing them. That is the law. The law doesn't state that those complaints have to be valid in order for the retaliation to be. That doesn't. Can you imagine? Think about this like logically, right? Can you imagine a situation where you could do shit as long as one side of it isn't like doesn't meet some kind of requirement? Like, he can't get away with retaliation just because the SH claims don't meet a standard, a legal standard.
She made legally protected claims.
That's
right.
right.
So that's why he's liable for treble damages because he filed a lawsuit.
It doesn't matter if the fucking law agrees with her claims or not. That's it's completely irrelevant. I promise you this.
Yeah, man.
100%.
He's in bad shape. So I think that the reason why, so his lawsuit was dismissed.
Yeah.
But this timeline document, this remains an exhibit. And I think the reason why is because he admits to so much shit in this thing.
Yeah, no, it's gaslighting.
It's really bad.
It's gaslighting. I mean, he literally.
A lawyer wrote this. So dumb.
Most lawyers can't believe a lawyer wrote that. So you are not alone.
Okay. Did you want to talk about other things tonight?
Let's get to our question. I know the kitchen show's got some stuff going over there. So there's some YouTube. There's a lot of chatter going on TikTok. So we should probably just deal with the people we're talking. I have my. I do have one more thing at least that I want to get through.
Oh yeah, what's that?
I have to go to my saved right now to tell you what it is. Oh no, actually. Well, I'm going to save that one anyway because.
I Am Bobo is giving us tips about another podcast. I think I'm gonna screenshot this. Thank you for your advice.
Cool. We like podcasts.
Yep. King Gator said these spiritual nice guys are not into boundaries or consent because it's all love.
It's all love. That was
bear hugs the Variety writer.
Yeah, it's so embarrassing. They try to they tried to set that as a stage for like, I think what happened was they don't realize the love that we share here at the Baha'i Faith. So, we show up and we're very loving and people are like, wait, this isn't, but you got to let the love in. See? Mm-hmm. It's fucked up, man. My second headline was why Hollywood is doomed to fail. So I'm going through all this stuff today, and there were two articles that popped out. One of them was Jackie Chan. I didn't read the article, but
Jackie Chan what?
Jackie Chan, he made a statement about new Hollywood movies lacking quality. He said it's because studios focus on the money. All they're worried about is the bottom line. They're not filmmakers, they're business guys, right? And everybody knows this. And they also talk about this with the Marvel. And you think about that, but you think about the box office of the summer. Fantastic Four, of course. Superman surpassing Deadpool now in box office. That just happened. So Jackie Chan points out all this shit about this very true shit about how it's all corporate greed. Of course I agree with him. And then it plays out in the very next headline. So just below that, there's this headline. AMC Theaters narrows second quarter loss to $4.7 million as revenue jumps 36% on Sinners and F1 success. And of course, that first part of that sentence, AMC Theaters narrows second quarter loss. This is capitalism at its worst because we have, in capitalism in general, it's all about growth. But when it's market driven, meaning like it's on the stock exchange, you're beholden to the there's a fiduciary duty to the stockholders, right? You have to ideally, raise your revenues and or mitigate your losses in order for your stockholders to get their returns. And so our art is being held against these financial standards, and that is the doom of Hollywood. Yep. Like Hollywood's screaming about losing itself because part of the reason why it's losing itself is because it's not going to make it can't even make movies in its own backyard anymore because everything is about the bottom line. So they sell out everything. For a little smidgen of profit in their fucking coffers, and they'll sell it out. And that includes your jobs, that includes your art, your integrity, your history. All of this is up for fucking sale because of not just because of money. It's because of the public market. It's Paramount. It's all these. They're all public companies, bro, and they're all beholden to these shareholders. And so when they see numbers like what these big giant Marvel movies and DC movies have been doing this summer, right? When they see these fucking, I guess it's been a DC summer, but it doesn't matter. When they see these big runs pulling in billions of fucking dollars in box office, they're not going to turn their gaze toward an artist like me or an artist better than me, but who has, similar taste, right?
There's some new people coming up, like the guy that just did Weapons. That's his second feature. I mean, he's in the horror space, so there's a little bit more leeway for horror.
Like the horror genre, like these are all the box office draws, right? That's that's second to Marvel. So I'm not talking about those because I already know that the public companies want those. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about Manchester by the Sea.
Yeah, right.
I'm talking about like
we're never gonna get like actor-driven dramas.
It's dying a horrible death. They end up on streamers. There's no more no room for them in movie theaters anymore.
It's a good thing that Meryl Streep had a career before all this shit went down because they're not making movies like hers anymore.
No, they sure aren't, and so we wouldn't know the range and capability of this woman. I saw a comment about Pedro Pascal, and people were like, "I don't know why people think he's so fucking good." Well, he hasn't really. My response to their comment was, we have not seen an even small percentage of what he's capable of as an actor yet. Hopefully those roles are going to be coming down the line. It's not going to be the Fantastic fucking Four.
No, I know. I heard he was pretty good at The Last of Us. I heard that people were impressed with him there.
I mean, we loved him in Game of Thrones, did we not? I mean, he's fucking brilliant in it.
Yes, that's right.
But it's I think your sort of question about where would the Meryl Streeps be if we were in today's
impossible, bro.
It's just so difficult. Like you're not I don't know if we'll ever on this path discover the kind of actors that we were able to discover during that big golden age stretch where
because there's some
films like The Godfather and shit like that. Like these are movies that are really difficult to make. These are the only movies like it's James Cameron makes Avatar. He's saying, well, I make Avatars for 20 years because it gives me an opportunity to try to like teach humankind to be kinder, and we can learn lessons from Avatar. But what it is a lack of originality, in my opinion, right? And it's also about like being stuck in a multi-billion-dollar franchise. Like he loves that paycheck. He loves the funding that comes with it. So he doesn't take any chances until like a story that like maybe Barry Levinson would tell or, a Mike Nichols would tell. Mm-hmm. He's got to like blow the box offices away in order to do anything. And it's upsetting.
Well, so where do the studios like Blumhouse come into this?
Well, he picks on genre, right? So occasionally he'll throw an art house in there and he'll do something with it. But it's very rare. But he's making all his money. He's just a modern day Corman.
But there's no gatekeeping that he has to deal with, right?
What do you mean by gatekeeping?
You said that funny.
I did.
It was cute.
What do you mean by it?
I just mean we're talking about how there isn't a lot of space for many different voices, right? But he seems to make take a lot of risks with different directors.
Well, he doesn't. This is what he does. What he doesn't do. It's funny you should say that because it's so interesting. He actually mitigates risk by working with these filmmakers. Yes. That's how he gets these low budgets.
No,
so
I know.
His whole strategy is I make 11 movies to your one.
I know. What I'm saying is you're talking about this extraction centered capitalist system of filmmaking.
Okay.
Right, where they put out movies where they have to try and make more and more and more profits for their shareholders, right?
Right.
Well, he's making all these low budget films.
Yeah.
And they make a lot of money. But you would think that they would try and commoditize that, try to wring the blood from the stone a little bit and ruin what he's doing. Well,
there's nothing to ruin. He's got first of all, he's mostly genre driven, so he's already in the oligarchical whatever money-making bag, right? Like he's in that bag already. But
because his profits are nuts.
But what he does, yes. Yeah. But he has this like high margin success.
Do you think Roger Corman would survive in this
Yes, because Jason Blum survived.
That's cool.
Right? Like Jason Blum is what Roger Corman was. He's actually kind of an upgraded version of Roger Corman, because Roger Corman would make anything practically.
Yeah.
You know, if
Blumhouse movies are actually good.
And he would throw like budgets that were ridiculous, like, all right, kid, here's $50,000 and good fucking luck to you. You know, you could use my backlot or whatever. And then, you know, but Jason Blum, he has a deal at the studios. So the studios are just, so they're farming content, the studios, from Jason Blum. Jason Blum's formula, very simple, right? I'll make more than 10 movies. I'll make fucking 20, 30, 40, 50 movies to your one, Marvel.
It's super smart.
Yeah. So I
admire it a lot. I love the kind of movies that come out with those small budgets.
And he's also
They're always better.
And he's also in the big genre, right? He's also in the big profit genre. So he can do what It Ends With Us did, which is drop a very low budget for a very high return. I mean, he does way better. His movies don't exceed $5 million, and the $5 million goes to guys like M. Night, not guys like me. I would get $1 million or less if he was to finance me, right? So he's just really smart, because what he does is he makes these, 10 movies, but he'll make 10 or 12 movies, and as far as a play deal goes, he might only have 1 or 2 play deals on them. Meaning, like, out of his 10, 8 of them are going to kick to streaming, 2 of them are actually going to get theatricals, and then the margins are through the roof, because not only are they getting the streaming on the 8 movies that didn't get theatrical releases, so they've got that to mitigate the losses on those individuals, but they also get to take those losses on those individuals while pulling down those giant profits on those 2 that actually got released and did the 100 million or the 50 million or whatever the number might be, 10xing, 20xing the budget.
That is super smart.
Fucking brilliant. It's not brilliant by him. It's Roger Corman. It's every businessman. How can I make more money and spend less doing it?
I was trying to find this tweet. I thought it was really funny.
Before you do, the last thing I have, the second last thing I have is this. So I didn't want to talk about Dean Cain, because fuck Dean Cain. Like, nobody even knows who the fuck he is anyway. And by the way, nobody better than John Oliver. So I just wanted to drop John Oliver's joke.
Picking on him?
Yeah, John Oliver says there's no need for Dean Cain to wear a mask as an ICE agent, because there's fucking zero chance anyone will recognize him anyway. I loved it. This is really super smart. He's just such a good fucking comedian, dude. Anyway, fuck Dean Cain. And yeah. By the way, did you know that Sharon Stone suffered a major stroke in 2001?
No way.
Not only did she suffer a major stroke, but it was a major stroke that most people have a 1% chance of recovering from.
1% chance?
1% chance. And she not only recovered, this is 2001, but she fully fucking recovered. And she's telling stories about that, which I'm gonna dig into and read some. But she's talking a lot about, it's interesting. She talked about her famous Basic Instinct moment where she, uncrossed her legs.
Oh yeah, right.
And she was like, it made me, one of the quote, I'm going to paraphrase this quote. I have to, because I don't have it in front of me, but something like, it made me an icon, but it did nothing to further the cause of women, or something, like it was a pretty cool quote where she was like, yeah, one of my regrets.
Further the cause?
Well, like, to further the cause of like women's issues, which is exploitation.
Oh yeah, but I mean, are you never supposed to play a femme fatale ever in a movie ever? Like,
I just liked she was being cool about it, man.
Oh, I know, but that's like that. There's like a whole spectrum of womanhood, and I think that type of woman is, it's really cool. Like it exists a ton in mythology. She's tripping. She's kind of tripping. She's tripping.
By the way,
it's a fucking awesome type of woman that she played, and I feel there's space for all the different kinds.
David Justice talking shit about his ex-wife Halle Berry, and I don't understand how Halle Berry.
No, this is so hilarious.
I don't understand how Halle Berry landed this fucking guy, or like why this guy landed Halle Berry. More like, David Justice reveals one reason that he and Halle Berry are divorced, and this is a quote apparently. He said, "She don't cook, don't clean, don't really seem motherly." Halle fucking Berry. He thought he was going to marry Halle Berry, and he's going to like, man, give me some biscuits. Like, he thought that he was going to send that woman into a kitchen. He thought he was going to be like, man.
He knew who she was when he met her, too.
He thought he was going to like get her pregnant with his mistresses on the side.
Oh my God, I know. So I looked this up, and at that point in her career where they were together, she hadn't won she hadn't been nominated for the big awards because she didn't have the big opportunities yet. That came after they broke up, so it's good that she shed that dead weight. But she had been nominated for several NAACP Image Awards, so she won one.
Yeah.
And so here he is. She's already a famous actress. She's already winning awards, and he wants her to like, you know, be barefoot in the kitchen instead of continuing to fucking slay in her career.
Yeah.
What a creep.
I mean, but I'm just trying to figure out how, like, what happened? Why did Halle Berry get with this dude? Like, so I got married to a person who's like, man, the fucking whole thing changed. Like, I got married to a person who, man, I wish I'd have gotten the right thing I got out of it, because I got married to this person, and then I found out later that she was a racist, that they were all racists. I was like, holy shit. So sometimes you just get dragged in these situations because there's like a facade. And maybe this guy put together a facade. Like, I have no idea. Maybe he was just... I fucking don't understand it, because I'm trying to figure out how Halle Berry gets with a dude who ends up saying that kind of shit about, like, first of all, clean a house. I think Halle Berry probably has housekeeping. Like, probably.
Well, also, like, don't you want to make Halle Berry, successful actress, happy? And
she's busy, dude. She's not cleaning up after you.
I would throw on an apron so fucking fast. If I was married to Halle Berry, I'd be like, what would you like for dinner today?
There was like there was like some dude, I think he was like a big black dude, said, I would have put a ribbon on, would have tied it like a bow in the back.
On his apron?
On his apron. Unfucking believable.
Really funny. Yeah, well, he fucking fumbled. David Justice. It's so awful to have exes. Because, like, imagine, like, Halle Berry's out there just being amazing, right? She's just living her life. She's out there just, like, being a goddess.
Being an absolute goddess.
And this fucking creep from, like, 30 years ago wants to tell stories about her. Man, I'm so glad he's getting, like, dragged all over the internet, because you need to keep Halle Berry's name out your mouth. If you fumbled that so bad, like, just don't ever speak of her.
Wow, man. It's so crazy. Really, dude. I mean, obviously he looks like such a fucking D-bag with this. It's embarrassing. But I was just like, I just got so...
He didn't deserve her anyway, obviously, so that's good.
Dre on TikTok says, rumor has it that Wesley Snipes was jealous of her too while they were together. I mean, that's easy, bro. You get with Halle Berry, you know that if you have any insecurity, bro, it's exposed. Like,
I think that it was Trevor Noah said that in his memoir, he said that his mother described it really perfectly, where she said that there was this type of man who wants to capture and confine women, like as if they like trapped an exotic bird and keep it in a cage.
Oh my God.
Like they find someone who is excelling in their career or who is like the light that shines in a room, and then they deliberately target that one to make her smaller and keep her in the house and dim her light and make sure her career ends. And it's just like, it's almost like a trophy hunting, you know?
Such a continuous theme in our culture of the idea of keeping one down so you could be up. Like I've always lived my whole entire life of trying to bring everybody up around me. Like, if you're in a group with me, I'm going to try to help you be better at whatever it is you're being better at if I can.
I know. And it's wonderful. That's a really wonderful trait about you.
Why, thank you, Angela.
Well, it's awful that some people take advantage of it.
I'm trying to figure out the mentality of...
It's that the mentality is that they don't see relationships with women as anything other than conquest and dominance and all of these other like distorted, instead of like companionship, right? Mutual care and assistance, you know?
Yeah, like, I mean, but the part of like
him, he's never going to be part of a power couple. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you can't be one of these like iconic power couples if you're expecting your wife to clean your floors for you when she's already got a career and she's already making a name for herself and she's like nominated and winning awards. You know what I mean? Like, you've got a fucking distorted view of your own capabilities in a partnership. Like, you see some of these people who are like, they ascend to the heights that they've never been able to create on their own because they partnered with somebody who was also ascending, you know? And so you can hitch your horse, you know, you can hitch your wagon to someone else's horse and then you guys can like, you know, succeed together. But somebody like him, it's just, he's never gonna, if, you know, it's no wonder that he's still whinging about his losses 30 years later, because he's obviously not happily, you know, in a relationship, or else he wouldn't be talking like this.
Yeah. User on TikTok is asking if I knew that the directors of Bodies, Bodies, Bodies said that Don's Plum was a huge influence, and I did know that. It was actually a really proud moment for me.
Dale was beside himself.
I was pretty beside myself.
With glee about it. Because that was a big dream, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those dreams that you didn't really even know you had until it happens, and you're like, holy shit, I've always wanted this.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
But of course you want to make a movie that somebody says, hey, your movie influenced you. I want somebody to say one day, I read your book and it proved to me that I could, like, if you can do it, I sure the fuck can. Thank you for bringing that up, though. It's a really cool moment. And, yeah, I mean, I think every filmmaker wants to like have a moment where somebody says, hey man, you made me better, because, it's what made us better, right? Like,
Yeah. That you contributed to something that inspired, like a big archive, right? That you also drew from.
Yeah. It's the big intangible way to pay it forward,
That's wonderful.
And, but it's also like a dream, and it's flattering, and there's that part. It's pretty flattering. But apart from the flattering part of it, it's like, you want to make a movie that works, and if it works so good that somebody, what's cool about that is not only did she say that she was influenced by Doesnt, but that she pitched it. So when she pitched Bodies to A24, she was like, Bodies, blah 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 meets Doesnt. It was like she had like 3 movies, Doesnt being one of them, in terms of like the meets stuff. Like,
that's amazing.
That's fucking crazy.
So you're like, what if I pitched to A24?
It's done. I made the movie. Why don't you come make a movie with me, people? If the blacklist isn't real, bro, they're greenlighting people who like the movie I fucking made.
Lee said about our previous topic.
Yeah.
Lee said Russell Brand wanted Katy Perry to drop everything and be his baby mama, and she divorced him.
Like so
what
fast.
What is the matter with these men?
They're weird. Men are weird. Why? I don't get it, dude. I don't get it. Like, the first thing I thought about when, we started dating seriously was, how can I help you be everything you've ever wanted to be and more? Like, it was like...
It's so wonderful. And you're just like this with everybody that you come in contact with. It was one of the things that actually, like, we've been together for over a decade, and it's one of the things that I had to kind of, like, try and, like, convince you to sort of, like, maybe suppress a little. Because what happens is you're so eager and excited to help other people that you will sacrifice your own progress. And so, like, I feel like there's got to be a balance. You really struggled with that balance where you were like, I am all in for helping this person achieve their dreams because it's so gratifying to you.
Yeah.
But that it was at the detriment of your own progress and your own dreams.
I'm much better now. Now I care about myself as well. Whereas before I didn't. And you know why? Because I'm not depressed anymore. Thank you, Too Real.
Is that your ad?
Dude, if Too Real never sells another copy, bro, it cured me of something that was draining my life from me.
I've heard this about memoirs. They're writing them is really cathartic.
It cured me, dude. I mean, I didn't even know, like, it was kind of gradual after I gone through the process, because it was 4 years of writing, editing, and then finally publishing. And we're still obviously in the process now, almost a year out of our initial release. But the whole time, I wasn't even aware of the healing that was actually going on, even if I was having these big, like, cry fests and going through all this shit. And also, like, doing these reconciliations of, like, understanding, like, I had clung to the idea that they loved me, that they all loved me. And then I was writing the book, and I was like, what the fuck? This is not love, dude.
No.
And then I recognized, like, and also, like, through the writing of it is, like, whatever mistakes we made, none of them, I mean, it's like somebody asked about Blake Lively, whether or not she made mistakes. And it was like, I mean, yes, but did she make mistakes worthy of this fucking outcome? And the answer would be a quick no. And that was the same with Doesnt.
Yeah, there's definitely mistakes that's central to the case in her civil litigation. So, those are the ones we should focus on, I guess. Yeah, of course. And relative to the claims. And the same goes for us. I mean, we made some mistakes along the way, but making Doesnt was not one of them. Mm-hmm. So, anyway, interesting, fun stuff. Do you have anything else that you would like to chat about? I did, but I'm going to save it for tomorrow because it's not time sensitive.
I just want to thank you guys for your patience too, because I know that the last episode, our sound was just garbage. I mentioned at the beginning of the live. I didn't realize that all of the settings had evacuated from, I didn't save them properly because it was a whole new device. And I just want to, like, I'm just going to put a little warning out there, because the hardware I bought is hardware I'm going to replace again because I needed a bigger solution. And shout out to Tom Elliott. He has just been this like absolute godsend of a supporter of us and this podcast. But he has helped us get this larger, more expensive piece of hardware. So there might be some more learning curves, is all I'm trying to say. So I hope you'll be, I can continue to test your patience. The goal is to bring back TikTok to the full like experience, but the ball's sort of in TikTok's hands right now. We're going to continue to do the single streams until they figure out that I'm just a dude with his partner talking about shit. What's the problem, people? You guys are wonderful. I hope you guys are going to have a wonderful week. And, are you done? Are you done?
Yeah.
The last live, I said, just pay attention to the people around you and the love you got. Because, and I think I said, don't miss a minute of it. And I just want to repeat that message again, We suffered a big loss in our family over the weekend. And, yeah, man, you just don't know. Don't miss a minute of love, when it's around you. Doesn't matter who it is. If it's your brother, your mother, your lover, it doesn't matter who it is, man. Just don't miss a minute of it because it's there for you right now. You know what I mean? Anyway, with that said, love the shit out of you guys. I really do, man. I love spending our nights with you.
You can never say goodbye.
Until tomorrow.
It's adorable.
Well,
you really do like it here.
I'm gonna come up with it. Look, I got this new toy. Watch this.
What?
See that, guys? That's my fade to black that I got hooked up.
Oh, sweet.
But I don't know how to use it yet because you're supposed to fade. Because I'll go like this. I'll be like, all right, guys. And then I'll fade to black. And then I'll be like, well, one more thing. I like the way you look at me from across the room. Anyway, you guys are the best. Good to see some people here. Stefan, I haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you, buddy. So good to see everybody. Lee is here, was here. So anyway, acknowledgement to all you guys. I'm going to end the stream now. I got to shut the fuck up. You guys are the best. We'll see you tomorrow night. Good night, good night. And now, yes.